weekend at Petco Park against the Red Sox.
If he stays on turn, that would schedule him for Friday night.
If you give him one extra day, it would be Saturday.
And if you want, you can give him the extra day, pitch him Saturday. Then he would be pitching in that Dodger series.
Now, live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of John and Jim. And, of course, we're getting you ready for more Padres baseball tonight in Arizona, game 2 of a 3-game series. And as Jim just told you, obviously, game 1 didn't go the way maybe we had expected it to go. It was the debut for J.P. Sears. By the way, B.J. Davis, San Diego State junior guard, back for a third year. We continue our basketball summer series. He'll join us at 3:30. If you missed Cynthia Freeland NFL Network, we'll have that for you later in the show as well. But yeah, I mean, our expectations going in were, I think you said it yesterday, I agree. Like, we're excited. J.P. Sears making his Padres debut later this week. We expect Nestor Cortez to debut. That'll be tomorrow in game 3 of the series. So we were looking forward to it. And then you watch it play out. And let's be honest. I mean, it played out terribly. He allows 10 hits. Everything was hit hard, home runs. Eugenio Suarez isn't in their lineup anymore. And he didn't really give the Padres an opportunity to win the game. We said yesterday, go 5 innings, allow 2 or 3 runs, give your team a chance to win the game. So it wasn't the debut that anyone was hoping for. And now we'll see if the Padres can bounce back tonight after J.P. Sears laid an egg in his Padres debut.
Yeah, it wasn't good is an understatement. I don't know, man. I didn't see it last night. I didn't see it. I was hoping to. I didn't expect him to go out there and go 7 shutout. And let's be honest here. Will J.P. Sears, once Michael King return, pitch much in the second half for the major league team? Probably not.
Right.
We'll see if they go to 6-man rotation. But Nestor Cortez, he can't be sent down to the minors, so he's going to be up at the big league level. He gets to start on Wednesday. Can J.P. Sears be sent down to the minors? He's been in the big leagues for a while.
He can definitely be sent down, though. Right? Yeah, absolutely. He hasn't been up for 10 years, right? Like, if you've been with one team for 5 years and you've been in the big leagues for 10 years, you're protected. But, I mean, he's been up and down. I'm assuming he has options. He must have options.
He debuted in 2022.
Yeah, he's got options, right? He can be sent down. I
So
don't see why he can't.
Yeah, so when Michael King returns, the likeliest course of action will be replacing J.P. Sears in this rotation, correct?
Yes, right, because of what you just said. Cortez will be with the major league team, assuming his health.
Mm-hmm. So it might just be a one-off here. They needed a start. They had a lane carved out. J.P. Sears got the start last night, and you might not even see him for the rest of the season. You know, Randy Vasquez got sent down. So the likelihood of us seeing Randy Vasquez in a Padres uniform again this year, not very high, unless there's an injury, of course. And if everything stays status quo and there's no bumps in the road and there's no
double headers.
Yeah, double headers or anything crazy, right? If they don't go to a 6-man rotation, then
true.
The rotation will look as such. It will be Nick Pivetta in any order. Nick Pivetta, Dylan Cease, Yu Darvish, Michael King, Nestor Cortez.
That's right.
Okay. But I go back to, and this is just a more of a bigger picture. This has nothing really to do with the 2025 Padres, because I think the 2025 Padres are very well positioned. I'm just looking at the bigger picture. Just humor me here. Going back to the feeling we all had last Thursday in the morning when the Padres traded Leo Vries and other pitching prospects for J.P. Sears and Mason Miller.
Right.
And we obviously all freaked out. Everybody did. Everyone's like, whoa. There's got to be more here.
Which there was.
There was. And it all looked much better for the 2025 season.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking to yourself, all right, man, J.P. Sears, he got a nice starter, and we'll see what happens with Mason Miller, dominant closer. And then I'm watching J.P. Sears last night, and I'm like, yucky. I don't know, man. I didn't see it, and you can say
I know you're
going to say
have a lot to say.
It's just one start. You could say that,
but it wasn't the J.P. Sears.
I know it wasn't. But let me finish. You could say it's just one start with J.P. Sears. Dude has a career 4.5 ERA. All right. Mason Miller, he better be like the best closer and the best reliever in the sport over his time with the Padres because, and this is all predicated on if Leo Vries turns into a star. I know that. If he doesn't, then it feels like maybe a wash. We'll depend on, see what happens with Mason Miller, and he could be closing out a World Series game, and then it won't matter at all.
Right. So who are you of all people? You never look ahead. Who cares? Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about DeVries in 2027. If Miller is a dominant relief pitcher on a team that makes a run, who cares about Leo DeVries in 2027? This was never about JP Sears. We did 6-7 hours that day. We did the morning show.
I know. Yeah.
We did
a
4
lot.
hours of John and Jim. We did 2 hours a night. So we did 7 hours. How often did JP Sears come up in those 7 hours?
Once.
It was never about Sears. Now, to your point, should he be better than that? Yeah, absolutely. Are they expecting to get more out of him? Yeah, they got him controllable through 2028. So let's see what Niebla can do. Dude, over 162, it's hard for me to react to JP Sears yesterday. It was bad, but I mean, we're getting way ahead of ourselves because we don't know what DeVries is going to look like. We don't know what the Padres do in 2025. We don't know the role Miller plays now and in the future. We don't know if he's a starter. So I just think you might be right, but might is the key word. I just think it's hard to have very strong opinions on a trade that happened Friday.
I'm not definitively saying that it's going to turn out to be the worst trade ever. I'm not saying that.
Well, no, you can't. Well, because it's impossible to say that.
Yeah, and nor am I going to say that because you're right. We've seen Mason Miller for one inning. We've seen JP Sears for one outing, and Leo DeVries is still 18 years old and has yet to have a at bat to major league level yet.
I'll have the conversation with you real quick because I know where you're going. If you want to say trading an everyday future position player that ceiling is a 10-time All-Star for a closer, even if the closer is dominant, is that a trade that makes sense to give up someone that plays every day for a guy that pitches? He's never had more than 28 saves in the season, but he's young and he played for the A's. I understand that point, but if the Padres feel as if Miller is the piece to give them the best bullpen in the sport, or put them over the edge, or he's the Dodger killer or Philly killer or Brewers killer. Well, let's see if it works out that way or not, will be my point. You might be right, but it's hard for me to say that without seeing Miller yet in action and how the Padres plan to utilize him.
Yeah, again, this is my impatience coming through.
And I get it. I like it. I'm glad you're saying it. I disagree with it. I respect it. I disagree just because it's too soon for me.
But I also know that I'm not the only one thinking this.
Of course not.
I'm not the only one thinking like, did that really just happen with?
Dude, I watched it last night. It was batting practice last night.
Yeah, this guy's is blah, right? And if you want to go out there, and I know that people will be like, oh, it's just one start, Jim. Go look at his career numbers.
Right.
It's more or less that's what JP Sears is.
No, he's better than that. He's better. What was his line?
His line.
Night. Give me his line last night. Because he doesn't have a 10 ERA.
No,
he doesn't give up 5 runs every 4 innings.
He has a 9 ERA right now.
But that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying he's not a 9 ERA.
No,
guy.
he's not.
Nobody is.
5 innings, 5 earned runs, 10 hits, 4 strikeouts.
Right. Now you said he's a 4.5 ERA guy, which is 4 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 3 runs. There's a big difference between 6 innings, 3 runs, and 5 innings, 5 runs. But I'm with you. It wasn't encouraging.
And I think knowing too that we're probably not going to see a lot of JP Sears for the rest of this season made it feel even like, because if you saw more of him and you saw him improve and you saw Ruben Niebla get his hands on him and he gets better over time, that's encouraging to see. And we don't know how much we're going to see Mason Miller. He's pitched 1 inning. He's not going to be in the games if they're trailing. Close games, they have a million options in the bullpen. So they'll use all of their pitchers and they will do matchups and everything. I was just thinking long term. This has nothing to do with this year, and we'll get into, what last night's game was, which I think it was just like, okay, it's a loss. It's nothing to like overreact about in one game for the 2025 season. They can come out here and hopefully they take the next 2 games, win 2 or 3, and last night's game has mean absolutely nothing.
I think Sears is more about, think about this. King, he's gone at the end of the year in all likelihood. Cease, he's gone at the end of the year in all likelihood. Darvish might retire. You need the pitching depth of JP Sears in 2026 and beyond. when he's controllable, when you get a full off season, when you get time with Ruben Niebla, you're betting on his future. I don't even think they're betting on his now, because to your point, barring injury, we may not see him again. Maybe long relief, maybe when rosters expand. Barring injury, we might not see him. Let's go to the phones, 877-767-4760. What do you think? I mean, do you feel similarly to Jim, where like you're trading away potentially a position player that's going to be a 10-time All-Star for a closer? Did it ever make sense? Does Sears have any? To me, Sears isn't part of the conversation. The conversation to me is, are you willing to trade your top prospect for a closer? That's a fair conversation. The Sears stuff to me is often like the periphery.
But if he's going to get time at the big league level and pitch for you, he's going to matter.
He will
right?
at some point matter. He will.
Yeah.
Yes. I think they want him to succeed, certainly as a starter in 2026 and beyond. Let's go to Eric on line 1, 877-767-4760. Eric, you're on with John and Jim.
Hey, thanks again, guys.
Yeah.
Love listening. Hey, couple of things here as far as the trades and Sears. I know this has been, pushed around and kicked down the sidewalk like a dry Cheeto for the last week or so. So I think Preller felt, this is just me thinking, that he could win with this team, and that's why you hear a lot of the conversation saying, well, we got a controllable player for the next 3 to 4 years. We got a controllable contract, because he feels he can win with what he had already. And I think the deals he made were just for the future. And then to Sears, I see him coming in, hopefully later on this year, maybe in the postseason, to face lefties. And I hope he's better at that, because I know if we look at his OPS, I brought this up the other day, versus lefties, it's not good. And this is why we brought Hader in 22 to face Bryce Harper, although we didn't use that as an option. We stayed with Suarez, and then the rest was history. But anywho, hopefully Sears could turn it around. I know it's just one game, but I mean, recency bias is real, and he didn't look good yesterday.
Appreciate you.
If JB Sears, if JB Sears turns into a specialist for this team, they got problems. All right,
there's no chance with this bullpen. He's
chance.
Your specialist out of the pen.
Yeah.
Let's sneak in one more call here before we go to break. 877-767-4760. 877.
JP Sears, you're facing Ohtani.
767-4760. Let's go to Dave on line 2. Dave, you're on with John and Jim.
Yeah, guys, thanks. It's good to have a good couple of chuckles with you here. Well, look, everything is based on a lot of ifs here, and certainly last night was a disaster. I mean, there was no other way around it, and there was, for God's sakes, Randy Vasquez looks like Sandy Koufax compared to what we saw last night. Now, there were a lot of analysts, not a lot, but several analysts, I can't remember their names, that were analyzing this trade with the A's and thought the Padres did not get enough back in return. And I would share that, because you're looking at a situation here, John, you brought up, it was basically a 1-for-1. Unless this guy, Mason Miller, is pitching in the bottom of the ninth in a 7th game of the World Series, I think it's going to be hard pressed. Padres will be hard pressed to justify that trade in the long run. We'll find out. But right now, all we can do is sit back and wait. But last night was a disaster. AJ's reputation is hanging in the balance. If you want to go to the if thing, if this doesn't work out, it's not going to look good for AJ. So I know he's saying rosaries at the end of the day.
Dave, appreciate it. The key is, and we could talk about this on the other side, as well as what's going to happen for season ticket holders in 2026. The key is if it doesn't work out. Mm-hmm. That's the part we don't know about. So we'll discuss that on the other side. Again, BJ Davis, San Diego State guard, back for his 3rd year. He's going to join us at 3:30. If you missed Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network, you'll hear from Cynthia today as well. We continue to react to the trade in game 2 of the series. Don't go anywhere. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, we all remember that one teacher who made a difference, who believed in us, challenged us, or just made learning fun. Now's your chance to say thank you to Big Way with iHeartRadio's Thank You Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate outstanding public school teachers going above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Today's teacher of the day, Mrs. Rank, who teaches at Tierra del Sol Middle in Lakeside. People told us she makes it her mission to make learning fun for every type of student with her. And with her, they all find success. Congrats, Mrs. Rank. You're in the running to win $5,000 for your classroom. Nominate your favorite teacher at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
It's funny, right on cue, little Ken Rosenthal,
Little Kenny,
put out an article about AJ Preller's pursuit of Mason Miller.
Okay.
This is as recently as a couple minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I can't read it in 2 minutes because it's a pretty long piece here. But, skimming over it, it seems like a couple teams were in on Mason Miller.
Okay.
Mets and looks like the Phillies as well. Phillies and I think maybe the Yankees.
Okay.
And as the teams were talking, and once, AJ Preller figured out what it might take to get Mason Miller, he went above and beyond and said, yeah, you know what? How about Leo Vries? And that's when I guess other teams that were in on Miller saw that and heard that Leo Vries would be a part of the deal and said, oh yeah, okay, this ain't going to happen, because those teams weren't willing to go to the lengths of AJ Preller to get Mason Miller along with JP Sears, which just tells you once again, when AJ Preller wants a guy, he will overpay for that player, or he will go above and beyond to get that player. Also mentioned, AJ Preller's quoted in here saying that, we were only going to make this type of move if we felt that we could get a championship caliber team on the field in 2025, which I do believe now, looking at their roster, and we talked about it a lot yesterday. I feel the same way even after last night's game. They have one of, I'm not going to say definitively, but they have one of, I believe, the best rosters in baseball after all the moves they've made. Future be damned. Pretty much how it is. Which,
again, speaks to like that. Isn't that the name of our show?
Yep.
I mean, I respect it. I say the same thing today I said about AJ Preller the day he made these trades on July 31st, which is he's doing things. He's operating from a position of fearlessness that very few executives in the sport are willing to do. You mentioned the Phillies and the Mets, for example. Phillies and Mets have postseason aspirations, World Series aspirations. They were unwilling to mortgage parts of their future, if not a big part of their future, to win in the now, theoretically, in a deal for Mason Miller. And that's what allowed Preller to win on Mason Miller. You may say, what about 2027? What does it mean for the future of the Padres organization? What I would say to counter that is the Padres have been playing baseball in San Diego since 1969. Like, at some point, you got to get unconventional to break through. I respect it. And I don't know if it works or not, but I respect him trying it. And nothing for me changes. And you just made this point with their roster. Nothing for me changes based on last night. Nothing for me has changed since the deadline. Everything for me is predicated on the postseason. It's 2025's postseason. It's 2026 postseason. And then, yeah, we could talk about Leo Vries in his future as well. But I'm not, they could win 9 in a row right now. You're not going to feel any better if they lose 2 games tonight on the wild card. They just got to get in. From there, the conversation starts. What role does Mason Miller play? What role does Ryan O'Hearn play? Ramon Laureano. It's a postseason conversation for me.
This quote here from AJ: we didn't want to go down this path of trading Leo Vries unless we felt we had a chance to be a pretty complete team. The last day or so, we were trying to figure out which of the alternatives was the best for us. If you're going to talk about trading a player like Leo and what we think he's going to be, we needed to make sure we could look at our team as a team that could legitimately be a championship caliber club. When we got to that point and we looked at the totality of the moves we were going to make, we felt it was something we were more open to, which
makes sense.
I do agree with. And it's hard to argue and hard to go against a team that's going to try to win a World Series, the first World Series in franchise history. But it also still is very, very risky. I mean, this whole thing here, the risk factor jumped up another level. And it felt the same way in 2022. And Preller, to his credit, did a good job of retooling and getting those pieces. But we also don't know if Preller is going to be here long term. We don't know if Preller is going to be here past next season because he has not signed a contract extension. There's some interesting things that, might be going on behind closed doors that we aren't privy to as far as AJ Preller futures go. So we'll see. I think if they make the postseason and they make a deep run, how could you not bring him back is kind of my thinking, because the fan base be like, wait, hold on, what? It just wouldn't make sense. But I mean, there's other things at play here that maybe we don't know about.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, listen, in 2023, this idea that we don't know about AJ Preller's future, we have speculated on AJ Preller's future longer than the show has existed.
I know.
2021 would come to mind. Is he owed 2022? Well, they redeem themselves and make the NLCS. Then they fall flat on their face, and you need a public display of backing from the owner at the time, Peter Seidler, saying I'm firmly in the corner of the general manager. There was a lot of heat on Preller in 2023, and then they win in 2024. So, yeah, it's true. We don't know the future of AJ Preller, but we didn't know the future of AJ Preller a lot this decade, and he's still here.
Yep.
And the odds still suggest, you brought it up last night, if you go to Fangraphs right now and look at playoff odds, the Padres are in the mid 80 percentiles to make the
high 80
postseason.
percentile, like 88%.
So if the Padres make the postseason, AJ Preller, is he more likely to be here for the next couple of years or less likely? I would say more likely. And it's more likely than not, according to Fangraphs and Padres fans and us watching these games, it's more likely than not that the Padres are going to be in the postseason here in 2025, is what I would say.
Yeah, I think something, it
would take some wheels falling.
Yeah, a bunch of injuries or the team going in the tank again offensively and the new players that AJ acquired don't produce. I mean, those things could happen. We've seen it. I mean,
you don't want it because then you're right. It could happen. And then if another general manager comes in, they could completely change the plan and be like, why did we mortgage our future for what we just bought that didn't even get us to the postseason?
Yeah. So I still think they're in a really good spot. They just had a 5-1 homestand. They've won 6 in a row leading up to their loss over the weekend. I think they're in a good spot for sure, but we will continue to say, and I'll continue to say, like, they got to go out there and prove it still. And one loss isn't going to change any of that. I was just looking at, I was taking away I was putting the loss to the side last night and just going back to the trade that was made last Thursday. And in my mind, because when you watch these players, you want them to produce like right away. It's not fair. I get it. I understand. But I also am the most impatient person on the planet. And I want to see returns on a player that you just traded away, benefit the team like right now.
I want to see Mason Miller benefit the team right now, and you're 100% correct. But at the same time, I do recognize that Leo Vries is playing for the Lansing Lugnuts in Single A Midwest League.
True.
So he wasn't benefiting you now. You're right. He could absolutely be benefiting you long term, but he certainly wasn't doing anything to help you in the World Series in 2025. All right. You mentioned the future. Let's talk about it from a Padres season ticket holder perspective, what 2026 looks like if you're a season ticket holder on the other side, plus more in this conversation about Fernando Tatis Jr. We'll get into that. His unbelievable lack of power over the last 2 months of the season. What is it reflective of? BJ Davis, San Diego State guard, joins us at 3:30. We're just underway. We're here until 6 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by eBay. We'll start with the Padres last night. Not a good debut for newcomer JP Sears. The Padres lost game 1 of the series 6-2. Game 2 is tonight in the desert. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish back on the mound for the Padres against Ryan Nelson for the D-backs. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
All right, PJ Davis, Aztec junior guard, back for his 3rd season on the Mesa. We're doing a summer basketball series. He'll join us coming up at 3:30. Padres and Diamondbacks will play game 2 of their 3-game series coming up tonight. Yu Darvish on the mound. So it's the time of year where teams begin the renewal process for their season ticket holders for the next season. Of course, the Padres have been among the best draws in the sport now for years. Petco's routinely packed. We talk about it all the time. And they send the email out yesterday. We can get into some of the specifics, but among the things it states is that there will be an increase in pricing for season ticket holders. What's the exact terminology they use? Is it modest or moderate? Or
it says that going into the season, we increase payroll and continue to make significant investments to improve your experience at America's #1 ballpark. We'll get into that in a second. We plan to make additional impactful improvements to Petco, blah, blah, blah. For the 3rd consecutive, I don't know where it says it.
You will
For the 3rd consecutive year, we cap season ticket members and maintain a membership waitlist, which has grown consistently over the course of the season. We plan to continue to cap season ticket memberships and offer membership waitlist for 2026.
Yeah, where does it say they're making an increase? Must pay to operate the ballpark, right?
Says you will also continue to receive overall savings on your tickets, 30% off season ticket prices.
Oh, members will see a moderate. That was the word. Members will see a moderate price increase for the 2026 season. They'll get more information on that in the days to come or weeks to come. So what are we talking about if we're guessing? I'm thinking it's more than just 1% or 2%, but I don't think you're talking, 30% increases. Let's just ballpark and say what, 10% increase for season ticket holders? Like it's going to be more than 1%. And it's not going to be like a 50% increase. So what, 10%? Moderate? Maybe a 10% increase. Maybe it's 15 on some tickets. Maybe it's 6% on others. And, you see the outcry, and they send this out yesterday. They lose 6-2.
Yeah.
I think by and large, and we've said this before, and I'll say it again, that's not my money, but listen, you want a winner. This is what it takes to win. I mean, it always takes investment. We talk about it in college sports. You could talk about it in professional sports. When you're competing with franchises like the Dodgers and the Yankees with the TV revenues that they have, and you don't have it, I mean, you have to find new revenue streams. We talk about revenue streams all the time. It's like, how else can you make more money if you're the Padres? If you're selling every ticket and you're selling beer and hot dog, there's only one way to make more money. Charge more for the beer, charge more for the hot dog, charge more for the ticket. So if you want to see that payroll go up, we're talking about CBT thresholds. We're talking about trade deadline maneuvering. I mean, I think if you want to win at this level, it's kind of the cost of winning.
It is. Now, if you just take a step back, do I like the fact that billionaire owners are raising prices on tickets and concessions and merchandise? Well, merchandise I think is run through Major League Baseball, but still concessions and tickets when the average fan is not, pulling in even close to the same number of dollars that you are as an owner of the franchise.
Right.
I don't like that. I don't like an increase on tickets for the average fan when, like I said, these owners are billionaires. Like it's not our money as far as like what the owners and the billionaires spend. Like, so when they go and spend a bunch of money on a team, great. I don't care. I'm not sitting here being like, oh my God. But on the flip side, maybe we should care a little bit more because in turn, it would and will increase the prices for the average fan and season ticket holders by spending more money on this team.
Well, here's what I always say. And I think you agree and I get your point. But would you prefer ticket prices remain the same or go down, but the Padres have a worse chance of winning, or the price of tickets remain the same or go up and have a better chance? There are no guarantees. Nobody says tickets go up, you win a World Series. That's stupid. If that was the guarantee, teams would raise ticket prices. So there's a fine line. You raise ticket prices and take a step back in the field, you're going to hurt yourself.
Yep.
At the box office eventually. Like it doesn't always, you can't just raise and not win. Like you have to do them hand in hand. My belief is if you think it gives you a better chance to win, I'm talking about organizationally, if they think it gives them the resources necessary to win, then it's a necessary evil, so to speak. And they're putting 42,000 people in the building. People seem to be having the time of their lives. And you're right. It's expensive. San Diego's expensive. Life is expensive. People have bills and children and gas. And it's one of those things that, nobody wants the price of, I don't want the price of milk going up. So I'm sure there's people that don't want the price of tickets going up. But if it allows them to contend, compete, remain relevant, stay towards the top, I understand it, is what I would say. I'm with it. If it's my pocket, I get it. If I only have $3,000 of, dispensable income and I got to spend it all now on the Padres, I get it. But I also understand the organization's pursuit, and this is what it takes, I believe. I don't think they're pulling like a fast one on me. I believe it takes money to win. Now, you could argue how much money or how much they should raise ticket prices, but I believe in a market like San Diego, it takes, they've stretched this thing out, right? They're packing the place, and they still are 9/10 in payroll, and they're making these flexible deals where they're taking on no money at the trade deadline. Like to maintain this payroll, I feel like they need to continue to create more revenue.
Yeah, and I'm never in favor of continuing to raise season ticket prices and concessions just because you as a ball club are spending a bunch of money on the field. I still think that, look, if you're a billionaire and you own a club and you own a franchise, like you got to pay for that. And to continue to ask your fans year in and year out to pay more money and more money and more money and more money, you're running a risky game here because you better win. And if you don't win, then you're asking your fan base to spend a lot of money on you, when in turn they're expecting you to win, and they're expecting you to win big. So it's a risk reward thing, and I get it. Don't get me wrong. I understand why the ticket prices are going up. It is how things are done. When a team spends a bunch of money, ticket prices go up. Also, when they win a bunch, ticket prices go up because of demand to go to watch the Padres. I get all of that. But on the flip side is when they eventually do suck again, those ticket prices better go back down.
Which they won't. So on cue, Jeff Sanders just published this. The weighted increase will be 7%. So the UT is reporting the increase will be 7%. This is twice the increase last year of 3%. They didn't raise ticket prices for 5 consecutive years, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Now, the team wasn't overly successful over that stretch. They did have 2020 and 2021.
Oh, 20,
and that's when it turned. This is 17, 18, 19, 20.
Well, no fans were in 20.
In 2021, 100%. And now they went up 20% in 2022. You heard me right, 20%. They went up 18% in 2023. They went up 9% in 2024. They went up 3% this year. They're going up 7% next year. I get your point. They are billionaire owners. They are profiting off the success of the organization. When it's sold, they're going to flip it for billions, from tens of millions to hundreds of millions, from hundreds of millions to billions. With all that being said, they run a business. It's not a charitable organization. This isn't communism. Like, they profit off the club.
Yeah.
That's the point of, they run a business. Just like a store runs a business and they upsell the cost of goods, the Padres upsell the cost of ticketing in an effort to maximize ticketing revenue. So I do get it. Nobody wants to spend more for the same product. I think what I'm saying is that, is it the same product if you're winning at a higher level than you've ever won in the history of the franchise?
Well, that's the thing, is you got to continue to win.
You do.
And you have to continue to spend.
Yep.
You can't
drop one of the
payroll, and you can't lose. Like, you have to continue to win, because the relationship between the fan base and the organization, they will work together if on the field, the on-field product wins at a high clip.
I agree with that.
So if the product on the field doesn't win, or you start cutting payroll, then that relationship between the fan base and the franchise, that won't be a relationship anymore, because you're not holding up your end of the bargain if you're the Padres by raising ticket prices and then not investing all of it into the on-field product. But right now, the good news is Feels like that's what they're doing. It feels, and it shows that what they're doing is they're taking their profit margins, or not profit margins, but just the profit they get from the gate and concessions and merchandise and how the fan base has supported this team like relentlessly over the last 3, 4, 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And in turn took that and put it into the on-field product, which I appreciate and I applaud. And I think Padres fans should appreciate as well. Now they have to go out there and win, and they have
even
to
higher level.
Exactly. And continue to win.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you're right. I would speak differently on it if John Seidler took the payroll from this club and kept dropping it 6, 8, 10% a year. Like, well, then why are ticket prices going up 6, 8, 10% as your payroll's coming down 6,
and you
8,
know
10?
that's going to come, by the way.
But hopefully not now. And you're right. When that day does come, then we'll be critical of it. But in the here and now, it makes sense to me that they need the revenue to continue to try to keep this thing together as long as possible. Maybe agree or disagree. 877-767-4760 or 70470. Start it with team. By the way, 619 did say, when you talk about the season ticket increase, please talk about the insane metered parking prices starting next month. I normally show up early to save a little money, and it will be $60 for me. I don't know if that has anything to do with the Padres organization or if that's more of a city of San Diego raising metered parking rates on Padres game days. My presumption would be that's more the city of San Diego.
I just think that with the Padres being clear and away the number one sports team in this town, the demand right now is so high that, of course, parking meters and everything,
restaurants that surround the ballpark,
everything's going to go up.
Yeah,
because they're looking to capitalize on the demand for Padres baseball right now. And do I like it? No, because, dude, everything is so expensive nowadays. There are times that going to a ball game cost a family of 4 hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Oh, absolutely. That's the average. I think you're right.
Back 15 years ago, or back when the team sucked, wasn't that much. Obviously, because the demand wasn't there and the Chargers were still here. The Padres were the clear second fiddle in this town to an NFL franchise.
And their payroll was what, 1/4?
No,
10 years ago was 1/4 of what it is today.
It was below 100 million.
Yeah. So, and now it's pushing 260, 270, 280.
Yep.
So payroll has changed as well. All right. Jim had a tweet blow up last night, and it's about something we've discussed with regularity for the last 2 months here on John and Jim. So we'll explain that on the other side. BJ Davis, Aztec Junior Guard, will join us coming up at 3:30. Don't go anywhere. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, BJ Davis, Aztec Junior Guard, doing a summer series on Aztecs Hoops. Will join us at 3:30. Cynthia Freeland, TBD, when you'll hear our conversation with Cynthia from yesterday from the NFL Network. At some point, though, we'll hear from Cynthia. I found this as I think this is the right usage of the word. I never used this word, but it just came to the top of my head. So tell me if this is right or not. Not necessarily Jim.
You're asking me?
No, I'm asking Brett. I found this to be a rather innocuous tweet. What's the definition of the word innocuous? Like, kind of like just whatever?
Like
innocuous meaning. Not harmful or offensive.
just kind of like a stat. Like a statement.
Because you tweeted after the Padres lost yesterday. I think Tatis flat out to the warning track to end the game, or in the ninth inning.
It's 407 feet.
That's great, but a fly out.
But it was an out.
Fernando Tatis Jr. has hit 4 home runs since May 28th. No period. It's August 4th.
Who cares?
No period. So I found it to be like, yeah, we've talked about Tatis a lot, like innocuous.
Yeah, it's a statement.
So like it's just the same. And then I replied, that's 4 more home runs than I've hit over the same time frame. And then I never thought of it again. Until you told me when I came in today, you're like, have you seen my tweet? I'm like, I saw it last night. Well, this has 4,000 likes and a couple of hundred comments and all these quote tweets. What is it about this specifically that has struck the chord? What is the chord that has been hit here? Is it people coming to his defense or people saying what we've kind of been saying, which is like, what happened to Fernando Tatis Jr.? Like, this tells the story. 4 home runs over 2+ months. Like, where is the player that hit 40 home runs?
It has over 640,000 views.
That's crazy.
Over 100 bookmarks, over 160 quote tweets and retweets. Yeah, I like seeing all the notifications on my phone that I have from it. I think a lot of people are trolling. I think a lot of people are Dodger fans, and somehow this tweet found them, and then it got retweeted and then retweeted, and so it just kind of, that's how it branched off into the ether of the internet or whatever. Most of the replies are, well, yeah, it does, because he's not on steroids anymore. Lot of those replies.
But what about in April when he did hit home runs?
He did hit April.
What about September, October?
Right. He did hit 7 home runs in September last year and 4 home runs in the postseason. So he had 11 home runs in a little over a month, almost a month and a half.
It was like 32 games, 11 home runs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then April this year, he had 7-8, did he not?
Yep. He had, what was it? He has 17 right now. So he had 13
through May.
On May 27th, he had 13 home runs.
Yeah, that's a good clip. That was a good pace.
Since then, he's had 4.
Yeah, that's not a good pace.
No. That's why it leads me down to believe there's something that might be wrong with him. That's why I asked Kevin yesterday, like, is he fully healthy? Because has got no pop. His OPS is going to be hovering around 800 for the rest of the season.
Could be, yeah.
It feels like. Hopefully not. Hopefully he gets hot here. Hopefully he has another September like he did last September. He hit 7 home runs. But, I mean, you're looking at a guy now, and I know Kevin yesterday said, yeah, the other teams really fear Fernando Tatis at the plate. I don't see it. I don't, because Tatis is not doing nothing to put that fear into the opposing team. He's not hitting mistake pitches out of the ballpark like that we've seen him do. A lot of ground outs. I mean, you can tell me all like, oh yeah, he's great. He gets on base. Okay,
he does. He gets on base a lot,
but he doesn't hit home runs. He's not driving in enough runners. He's, to me, not the same offensive player. And I think it's pretty clear to see that.
I mean, he isn't. You're 100%. He is not the same offensive player. I mean, what he had done 21 games into the year, he had a 1,128 OPS with 8 home runs. And listen to this, Jim. 21 games into the year, 8 homers, 16 RBIs, 7 steals, and 1,128 OPS. But John, he's the same hitter. But John, he's great. He does everything. No, he's not. Because from that moment on, from that exact moment in time, from April 21st on, Fernando Tatis Jr. in 90 games has hit 9 home runs and has a 730 OPS.
Okay, something's wrong with him.
Like,
how there has to be.
Insane. That's just insane. It's insane. It's so glaring. It's right in front of our faces. To say anything else, I don't know the reason, but it's a factual statement that he is nowhere near the player he was over the first month of the season, the way he finished last year. Certainly not the player from 2019 to 2021. And I keep saying to myself, well, he'll turn it around. He's capable of that 8 home run month. He's capable of the 12 home runs over.
Is he though?
Because I saw it with my own 2 eyes last September and October. But every game he plays, when he doesn't become that player, I'm another day removed from being like, is that going to happen again? He's at 242 in his last 90 games.
Yeah, it's not good.
242.
Mm-hmm.
Below league average.
Right. He had an awful series over the weekend and, had one hit last night. He's doing, and you said this, he's doing like just enough
to get by,
to not have it be like this, like incredibly awful stretch that he's on. Like he's getting on base.
He fools us with the walks and the defense.
He does. But the defense is at times helping the Padres win
100%.
games. Gotta acknowledge that. Defensively, one of the best, if not the best, right fielders in baseball. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Completely agree. No statues for defense for him.
It's about what he does at the plate offensively, and his bat should be his most valuable thing that he brings to the ballpark, not his glove, because he's paid $340 million because of his bat, not because of his defense in right field.
Yeah, like if we wanted Ozzie Smith, then you get the 666 OPS that comes with his career. So you didn't want Ozzie Smith. Okay, they moved him off the Ozzie Smith position. He's not here, and I see that belief. Well, he runs really well. He's an elite base runner, and his defense is elite. Only half of it is true. His defense is elite. Everyone falls out of bed with 25 stolen bases. Him stealing 30 bases isn't some landmark breakthrough World Series caliber trait. Every team has someone that steals 30 bases. Plus, he gets caught way too much.
Especially if you are an everyday player.
Yeah, so he stole 26 bases. Great.
Yeah, he has the speed. He's
gotta hit.
Gotta hit.
He's got to hit for power.
I would look at Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
All right. Doesn't play defense.
Running.
Can't run. Doesn't have a glove to save his life. Dude freaking mashes. You know how valuable that is? Would you replace Kyle Schwarber with Fernando Tatis Jr. on the team right now? I mean, probably not because of right field. But still, the production at the plate that you're getting from Kyle Schwarber makes up for all of the lack of defense. He doesn't even play defense. He's their DH.
But Tatis has a higher WAR than Schwarber. Okay, but Schwarber's got a 4 WAR and Tatis has a 4-something WAR. And everyone's going to tell me at the end of the year, look, Tatis had a 6.5 WAR. What a great year. I would tell you all of it's predicated on defense. Yeah. Not all of it, but a lot of it.
It's a lot of it. The reason Ha-Seong Kim had almost 5 WAR. What was it? 3 years ago or 2 years ago, or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Is he really a 5 WAR player? We're factoring in defense here, I think, a little too much when it comes to WAR. Would you agree?
Yeah, I do agree with that. And again, if it was 1979, great. Like, you know what I mean? Like Ozzie Smith, I'm looking at his numbers right now, 77 career WAR. It's all on defense, all of it. So you can compile, to your point, Ha-Seong Kim, you can compile WAR, not even hitting. And then when you put on top of it, decent hitting, you can really make it look good, like Tatis. But again, he should perform better than this at the plate. End of sentence. To your point, 4 home runs since May 28th. Not good enough.
Yeah, I keep going back to this guy was a top 10 hitter in the sport, and now he's like in the 60s.
His OPS this year in baseball, on baseball slugging, is in the 60s.
Yeah, and he used to be easily top 10.
Below like Ryan O'Hearn.
Well below Ryan O'Hearn.
Yeah, and well below Ramon Laureano.
Yeah,
the two, exactly. All right, more on this on the other side. Would love to get your thoughts on that. 877-767-4760 or 70470. Started with team. BJ Davis, Aztec Junior Guard, will join us coming up at 3:30. If you missed our conversation with Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network, you'll hear that coming up as well. Hour 2, John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Allstate. Padres last night lose game 1 to the D-backs 6-2. Not a good debut for newcomer JP Sears. Game 2 of their 3-game series tonight in Arizona. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres against Ryan Nelson for the D-backs. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Previously on John and Jim.
Based on what Mike Schultz said, they're not overly concerned with the results. I think they're more concerned with how he feels. And he did throw 60 pitches. That gives you a chance to probably throw 70 plus pitches. So maybe we'll see Michael King this weekend at Petco Park against the Red Sox.
If he stays on turn, that would schedule him for Friday night.
If you give him one extra day, it would be Saturday.
And if you want, you can give him the extra day, pitch him Saturday. Then he would be pitching in that Dodgers series.
Now, live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of John and Jim. BJ Davis, Aztec Junior guard, just burst onto the scene last year. Remember, Reese Waters goes down in the preseason. All of a sudden, it was Davis leading the Aztecs in scoring a handful of games into the year. He's back for his junior season. He'll join us coming up at 3:30. We're getting you ready for Padres and Diamondbacks as well tonight, game 2 of the 3-game series. I just saw this right now because I was running around today, but as Dennis Lynn wrote today that, again, this isn't a surprise, but the Padres called on Byron Buxton.
Of course they did.
I mean, again, they called on Rafi Devers.
Call on everybody.
So it should be of no surprise that they called on Byron Buxton, who has a 900 OPS year, by the way, and an OPS plus of 43% better than league average. So he's had a great year. But yeah, like if you need further confirmation, like we're not just kidding. It's not just like saying that he calls on everyone. Like he actually, we're not just saying it. Like he actually calls on all available players.
The way he operates is like he's playing MLB The Show, the
Fantasy.
video game.
Yeah.
Where he's running a team in franchise mode and he wants to create a super team and he's trying every single trade scenario with every top player in the sport,
Yes.
trying to get them on the Padres. Like he does not operate like the other GMs in the sport.
Who are cautious, protective of their jobs, more thinking about the future, maybe. Yeah, he operates differently. You know, we spent the first maybe 30 minutes of the show talking about just the idea of trading Leo Vries. I mean, there was a lot of conversation on it last week, and there's going to be a lot of conversation on it moving forward. I put a poll on our YouTube channel. If you could do it over again, would you make the DeVries trade?
I know, yes.
Because, I mean, that was kind of what we were theorizing on. And again, it's only been a few days. I think that to your point, when DeVries was traded initially, there was a lot of outcry. But then when you saw the entirety of the work, there was less outcry. Well, here we are a week later. And again, nobody knows anything about DeVries or Miller or Sears. But it is interesting with that trade alone. And again, this is not exactly scientific. It's 100 votes. But of the 100 people that voted in the last few minutes, 55% of them would not make the trade again, would prefer to keep the top prospect. I get it. You envisioned DeVries wearing Padres brown and gold. You saw the possibility. El Mutante, right? The mutant, this catch-all of everything, middle infielder with power, right? We were sold on that. And now he's out the door for a closer. Because forget about JP Sears for a second. Yeah, maybe he has value for this team long-term.
He's got a career 4.5 ERA.
Right. So it's about Mason Miller. We said it in real time, and I'll say it again right now. It's about Mason Miller. You traded away a guy that has a bright future as a position player for a closer. Is that merited? And I understand that point, and I could absolutely argue it one way or another. And it's an interesting conversation to have because we don't know what's going to happen. But I get it. I think that if that was the only trade that Preller made, there'd be way more outcry, so to speak. But because there was other work done, because they're 7-2 in their last 9 games, because people are very trusting, by the way, of him. I think he is a popular general manager here in San Diego. I think people understand it, but I understand being critical of it or having second guessing or questions about it as well.
And we'll see if they turn him into a starter. Kevin told us last week that everything that he's heard is closer.
Yep.
And I do think that if they turn Mason Miller into a starter, you potentially lose maybe like his stuff. Like you're not throwing 104 if you're a starter. You're throwing 98, 97. Inevitably, your stuff in your fastball will drop in velocity if you're a starter. You can't pitch as much as you can if you're a starter without your velocity dropping.
Right. Like you can't be a max effort 100 pitch guy, you're saying?
Yeah, you can't go out there and go max effort and throw 104. Your stuff your velocity will drop.
Sure.
So if they keep him as a closer, if they just keep him as a reliever, right? One, I'm going to need to see a lot of Mason Miller, like a lot. Two, I need to see Mason Miller be dominant, like strike out everybody, have a extremely low ERA, not blow a bunch of saves in the future. Like he's going to have to be dominant for you. And number three, he's going to have to help you in the here and now. Like when he's out there, he has to be lights out. And in the postseason, he's got to be lights out because that's why you got him. You got him to be a lights out piece out of your bullpen, and next year and beyond, be a closer for this team. He's got to be lights out, man.
Yeah, he's got to be lights out. I agree with you. I don't need to see a lot of him. I need to see him healthy in the postseason. So I only want to see him when he should be out there, as in protecting leads. And again, they're going to, with 5 relievers back there, not every time they have a lead should Mason Miller be on the mound. I want to see Miller look really good to finish off the year and then really pay dividends in the postseason. And I don't know what's going to happen. The truth is, as we talked about earlier, they get a 3.6 ERA with the Athletics. So he, as good as his stuff is and as low as the opposing batting average is, he hasn't been untouchable. In fact, we saw in his Padres debut, 1st and 3rd, nobody out. He got out of it, though, with a strikeout and then a double play. But yeah, I want to see him, but I want to see him healthy. And then most importantly, I want to see him protecting these leads because you're going to get into the postseason and you're at Dodger Stadium and it's game 4 of some series and it's 3-2. That's why they acquired you. You better darn hold that lead facing the top 3 in their order. And I don't know if he will or not. If he does, I'm in favor. If he doesn't, there'll be a lot of second guessing.
Like you traded last year for Jason Adam, multiple years of control. Yep. And he became an all-star for you as just a reliever, not even a closer, just a reliever.
You didn't trade Leo Vries for him.
You didn't trade Leo Vries for him.
Nope.
I think it's got better stuff overall than Mason Miller. Obviously, he doesn't throw 104.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you could argue that you look at the numbers, Jason Adams is a better reliever.
He's had a better year
than Mason Miller.
Yeah, you could argue that.
So I'm going to need to see like that type of production from Mason Miller going forward. Because if you don't see that, then, and Leo Vries does turn out to be a good player for the A's, colossal epic fail of a trade.
But I always err on the side of marathon because I go back to Josh Hader in August of 2022? August of 2022, Hader was Caleb Williams. He's not hitting nets that year. He's throwing behind batters. He's got his 20 ERA over like 8 appearances. I mean, he was wheels falling off what happened to the Hall of Fame trajectory, and then everything was fixed. And he was a big asset for them, specifically in the 2022 postseason against the LA Dodgers. Was he not?
He was, but you didn't trade a number 3 prospect in baseball.
But it doesn't matter if you win. If it doesn't, I'll give up everything for 3 saves against the Dodgers this time around. Now, again, if that then means they beat the Phillies and if that then means they beat whoever's in the World Series, but I don't care about the return if he does what he's asked to do in the postseason.
Yeah. And right now, there's a 6% chance they win the whole thing.
According to Fangraphs. But you don't believe in that truthfully, nor do I. I like to use it as a perspective.
But I'm just using that for the argument's sake against what you're talking about.
That there's a 94% chance they don't.
Yes. So we are saying, yeah, if they win, then who cares?
Right.
They have a 6% chance to win the whole thing according to Fangraphs. So Preller traded away the number 3 prospect in baseball for a below average starting pitcher in JP Sears and a closer
with a 6% chance to win the World Series.
That turn into now, and it could go up depending on how they play. But at this moment, when the trades were made, it was lower than 6%. It was like 4%.
3 or 4.
So
yeah, no, I get it. Well, it's kind of like saying, well, we dedicate our entire 365 days a year to a team that's never won a World Series or that had a 3% chance of winning the World Series too. Now you're right. We didn't move heaven and earth to do our show. We didn't say, hey, Mary, trust me, take the show to London. It's going to cost $25,000, but man, this is going to be the best Padres show we've ever done. That's a risk. Like that better pay off. And that makes no sense to take the show to London. So I understand what you're saying, but let me ask you this, Jim. How many times in the history of the Padres have they had a better than 6% chance of winning a World Series in the beginning of August? 3? 1998, probably.
Not last year.
1984, probably. Not last year, maybe 2022. Point is, you don't even have this good of a chance to win.
But
on average.
Yeah, those percent chances mean nothing. They have to go out there and prove it.
I mean, someone's going to win the World Series, and nobody has a better percent chance than 19%.
Which is the Dodgers.
Right. But someone's going to win it 100%.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I understand your point that it's a real risk. And yet what I'm saying is, hey, if they win in the postseason, it's all water under the bridge. But to your point, and I completely get it as a numbers guy. Yeah, but there's a 9 in 10 chance they don't win at the level that is necessary to completely justify the trade. If you're willing to say there's a 90% chance the Padres don't win the World Series, is it worth the Leo Vries trade if you don't win the World Series this year? Maybe, because there's still 2026.
And 2027.
Yeah.
And 28, which you'll have him here under control for.
And 29.
And he's got to produce at a pretty high clip for you. Like Mason Miller is the reason why you did this trade. He's got to perform. The team's got to perform. Everybody's got to perform. It's not just Mason Miller. Mason Miller can't do it alone. The odds of Mason Miller pitching more than 60 innings, 65, 70 innings in a season aren't very high. Like, he's not going to be out there every game for you, right? He'll make 65 appearances in a season.
Mm-hmm.
One could argue that's not enough for trading away the number 3 prospect in baseball for. But again, I read off the names of the top prospects that were traded in the sport last week. And 3 of the 4 teams that I named, one of them was the Padres, obviously, but the 3 other teams that I talked about all won World Series after trading away not only their number 1 prospect in the organization, a top 3 prospect in the sport.
Perfect. So it's going to happen. If it was only that easy.
If it only was that easy, yes.
All the DeVries, Miller, Sears trade talk, what about the offense?
Oh, yeah, that's a conversation.
Which we'll have on the other side. Plus, BJ Davis, Aztec standout junior guard. He's going to join us coming up at 3:30. We're continuing our summer series talking Aztec hoops. He'll join us at 3:30. We've got a giveaway today. Don't go anywhere. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, BJ Davis, Aztec standout junior guard. He's going to join us coming up in about 10 minutes at 3:30. So stick around for that. We're doing our Aztec basketball summer series. BJ Davis will join us live coming up in about 10 minutes. All right, so we've been talking about this Mason Miller trade, which makes sense. Huge trade. One of the bigger trades the Padres have ever made at the deadline. Then we have in our chat, and thank you, JD's Third, for pointing this out. He says it's the offense, not the pitching. Runners in scoring position remains a major issue. They're 2-2 since the trade deadline against teams that have waved the white flag. And he says AJ the gambler. I stand by what I said yesterday. I mean, the difference between a 550 winning percentage and a 600 winning percentage is going 11-9 over every 20 games or 12-8 over every 20 games, as in the margins are super thin. You got to let the thing play out. I still think their offense has been better. I think they've got a chance to be much better with the moves that they've made. But you watch last night and you have a little bit of PTSD.
I understand why Sheets was in the lineup last night, because the last time the Padres fought, Sheets went deep off him.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Play the numbers. Hey, last time you saw the guy hit a home run. You haven't played in a while. This might be a good spot to get you in the game and get you some at bats here. Going forward, though, I think Ryan O'Hearn needs to be in there like as much as possible against righties. Because
he hits right-handed pitching extremely well.
And because he's a rental and you aren't going to re-sign him.
Right.
Sheets is here.
Maximize him.
Sheets is here long-term. You have him under control till 2028, I believe, or 2027.
At least.
And you need to maximize the return that you got from the Orioles. That's just my thinking. Also, I do think that the lineup needs to change from what it has been to what it should be. Which
you want to move Laureanos of the world up and Bogarts of the world down.
I do. I think having O'Hearn and Laureano hit 5-6 instead of 7-8 or 6-7 needs to be the play, with Xander Bogaerts moving down to the 7 spot.
I think that's fair. And I also stick by what Schilt said yesterday, which is like, it's a new team. Mm-hmm. It'll shake itself out. We'll define roles. We don't know them necessarily, which I understand. I respect that point. And I do think with the benefit of time, once they put together 10 or 15, like once we get back into the swing of things, it still feels like we've been talking so much about the deadline. And exactly, once they just start playing series, I think it'll have a way of maybe just working itself out.
Because the one thing that isn't new is the production of Xander Bogaerts this year, especially with runners in scoring position. Your guy who you said is having a fantastic, amazing season.
No, I said since June 16th. That's what I said.
He's having a great year.
No, I said very good.
Very good. Okay. Well, would you say that hitting 154 with a 494 OPS in 104 at bats with runners in scoring position is good?
Well, no, that's the one area he needs to improve in. Otherwise, he's a finished product.
Yeah, that's why Xander Bogaerts this year has 38 RBIs on the season. You got to move him down the lineup, hitting him fifth consistently. Once again, he had an opportunity the other night with runners in scoring position, and nothing happened. So, look, Ramon Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn, I think hitting those two players in the middle of your lineup is what needs to eventually happen. Hitting them 5-6 instead of 6-7, moving Xander down to the 7 spot, Jake at 8, Fermin at 9th. You have the top 4 with Tatis, Arise, Manny, and Merrill. That's fine, but you got to move Xander down. You can't have him be constantly in positions where he has runners in scoring position and he's at the plate, because he has failed at a historical clip, it feels like, with runners in scoring position this year.
Fair, but let me listen. Maybe I'm his defense attorney.
Maybe you
Since June 10th, 47 games, 200 plate appearances. He's hit 309. He's got an 812 OPS. So I'm just saying it hasn't all been complete disaster, anvil, weighing you down. Now, he's failed with men in scoring position. I admit to that point. But you have to recognize he's been better overall. It's not like he's hit 180 on the whole. It's not like he has a 500 OPS on the whole. He's been better. Like hitting 309 for 47 games is probably second on the team.
That's great. Put him in the 7th spot.
I mean, I understand it. And we'll see. I mean, maybe you put O'Hearn or Laureano there and they come through. Maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't. But you can't keep having Xander in a spot where he consistently is the play with runners in scoring position.
Is he not going to bat with the runners in scoring position, hitting 6th or 7th?
I'd much rather have him bat 7th than hit 5th. Would you not?
Well, I mean, but we're
the
under
odds,
the premise of Laureano and O'Hearn batting 5th. He will be batting with men on base.
Correct.
I mean, that's just how it works.
Every player on this team will be batting
Every
with men
single one of
on base. But when you have the top 4 of your lineup getting on base at a pretty good clip right now, especially Tatis, he gets on base a lot. Vries, his 16-game hitting streak just ended. Manny Machado, right? Jackson Merrill. I would much rather have someone else trying to drive those guys in than Xander Bogaerts. Or at least try something different.
I mean, I do think with time they will. And I wonder how low. I mean, maybe they drop Xander to the 6 hole as opposed to the 7 hole, and they move him from 5 to 6.
And look, they did last week score damn near almost 7 runs per game.
I mean, since the All-Star break, they've been scoring.
They have. There's been some games like the Miami series where it didn't look good in the second game or the first game.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, over 20 games, there's going to be every 3.
Right.
I mean, there's going to be 3 out of every 20. They look awful on offense. Then there should be hopefully a handful where they look really good.
I just don't want to see Xander in the 5 spot anymore. That's all.
Well, stand by for tonight's lineup where he'll probably be hitting 5th.
He probably will because Schulte refuses to make changes.
We'll see. I don't know. Are they facing a lefty or righty tonight?
They're facing, I believe, a righty tonight.
Who are they facing? It's you, Darvish, for the Padres.
Ryan Nelson. He is a righty. He's had a good season. He's got a 3.2 ERA and 95 2/3 innings pitched, a 1.02 WHIP. He's 6-3 on the year in 23 games.
That's a test. All right. O'Hearn will be in the lineup, obviously, tonight.
Yes.
All right. We're going to switch gears. BJ Davis, San Diego State junior guard, standout junior guard, back for his 3rd season on the Mesa. He'll join us on the other side. We're doing an Aztec basketball summer series. He will join us next. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey guys, it is John and Jim again for our friends over at Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and make sure to get out there. Again, with so much going on right now, if you haven't been to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, you got to get there. All the sports, terrific food. We've eaten there. It's a terrific spot. It's great for sports fans like yourself. Make sure to get out to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort.
And this Thursday, August 7th from 7 p.m. to midnight, join them for Thursday drawings with a guaranteed $30,000 in cash prizes. Earn entries daily for your chance to win. Plus, stay after for the excitement of Latin Night.
All right. So again, the all new Jamul Casino Resort, of course, now open as well as the hotel and spa. The next level of luxury has arrived. Treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort. Now all in one unforgettable destination at the all new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. We'll start with the Padres. Last night, not a good debut for JP Sears as the Padres lose 6-2. Game 2 of their 3-game series tonight in the desert. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound. The Padres against Ryan Nelson for the D-backs. How many times have we all said that was easy? Well, the Staples Easy button is back. It's got everyone saying it again for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos, plus quality products delivered next day to over 98% of U.S. Staples. That was easy.
All right, so we're continuing our summer series on Aztecs men's basketball, and it was PJ Davis a year ago that had a breakout campaign on the Mesa, back for his 3rd year. The standout junior guard with us right now, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 on the home of the Aztecs. And BJ, first of all, thanks for hopping on. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, so I just want to start with the offseason, because I think for a lot of our listeners, they watch the Aztecs during the season, and then a season ends, and you guys are, kind of behind the scenes a lot. So take us through what has been kind of the start and middle of your offseason. The year ends in the NCAA tournament. What have the last 3, 4, 5 months been like for you as you ramp up for the next year?
Just kind of sticking to the routine, getting stronger, staying on the court, and just using the experience last year to really just dial in more and make it even translate more this year. So really just sticking to the routine and staying disciplined.
Coming into last season, the Vries Waters injury, vaulted you into the starting lineup. How did you handle that? How did you feel about that? And did you expect to play such a huge role on last year's team that you did?
Obviously, Vries Waters is incredibly talented. So having someone like him to sit out, and it hurt the team for sure. But, I was ready for the moment. I feel I put the work in, and my mind was ready. My body was ready. So, yeah, I definitely felt I got accustomed to it pretty quickly.
PJ Davis, Aztec junior guard, with us right now on John and Jim. What was it like going from the way you played sparingly as a freshman? I mean, I think about all these guards at San Diego State, and there's always veteran players. I go back to like Lamont Butler when he was here, there's so many examples. Miles Bird, right? He redshirts his freshman year when the team's in the national championship game. Like, what changes for you from a mindset perspective when you go from your freshman year to then starting every single game as a sophomore?
It was go time. So, I had to be one of those guys on the team that, brings that energy and brings that poise to the team. So definitely just getting out there and not being afraid and bringing the energy.
With as many players as that are returning on this team as there are, you guys are loaded in the backcourt. How has that made you better this offseason going into this upcoming year? And how fun are practices right now with the amount of talent that you guys have on this Aztec team?
I think it's making everybody better. We're competing against each other on a daily basis at a really high level. So if we do this against each other, then I feel if we go out as a team and play opponents, and it'll be clockwork for us.
Take me through what it's like as a player. Like a year ago, again, you're bursting onto the scene. I go back to your first handful of games, like the Creighton game, you score 18 points, you're 7 of 11 from the floor. The Oregon game, a loss, you score 18 points. Then all of a sudden you're playing one of the best teams in America. They later play for a national championship in the University of Houston, and you're at the top of their scouting report. I think Kelvin Sampson postgame said, we wanted to take BJ Davis offensively out of the game. What type of adjustment is that when you're scouted the way you were scouted a year ago?
I think just, staying patient. I think that opportunities will arise. And I think that just me staying patient and trusting my teammates and trusting the coaches that put me in the best position possible, I think that would be the most beneficial. So, it was tough at first adjusting, because when people really start cracking down on you, and me being a young player my first year out there, I kind of struggled a bit, I felt like. So, but overall, I say it was a good experience for me. It taught me a lot, and just, how to handle the ups and downs that come with this game that we play. So
I go back to, and you'll remember this, I go back to, scrimmages last year. There was a scrimmage that you guys had with UCLA up in LA, I believe. And the reports coming out of that scrimmage was, man, BJ Davis, he scored, I think, like 23 or whatever, how many points in that game. It was a real bright spot. It was like, oh, wow, BJ Davis. In that scrimmage, did you gain confidence like, oh, I can do this. I can score at a high clip at this level. And did that carry through for you to start your season last year?
Yeah, definitely. It was a good scrimmage. I just felt that everything was clicking. I really wasn't thinking too much. At times, I felt like I was getting in my way a lot just by overthinking stuff. But during that time, it was really no thinking. And yeah, it definitely carried over. It gave me that sense of belonging, definitely. And I used that throughout the season. I always drew back to that moment to seek inspiration and motivation.
Terrific young guard, BJ Davis, now entering his junior season at San Diego State with us right now on John and Jim. I feel like this is easier said than done, and this applies to all sports. We talk about this sometimes in baseball. It's like, don't let your offense necessarily come to the defensive side of the game. Like a catcher could go 0 for 3 at the plate, but still has to call a really good game with his pitcher. How do you make sure your defense, you're known as a terrific on-ball defender, one of the best defenders in the Mountain West. How do you make sure your defense is always at the level that you're capable of playing it at, regardless of what's going on offensively?
Mm-hmm. I think you just got to say, you got to remember your why. I think people get caught up in, the points of the game, but that's just one element to the game. So if you can defend as well, that's just as important as putting the ball in the basket. That's just the way I see it.
For you, coming off the bench and starting, what's the biggest difference in those two things for you?
I honestly think it's the same. I think once you're in the game, you're in the game, and it doesn't matter whether you come off the bench or whether you start the game, just bringing that intensity and that poise to pull out the victory. So whether coming off the bench or starting, just always having the right mindset and knowing that this opportunity doesn't last forever. So appreciate every second.
No doubt about it. BJ Davis, San Diego State guard, with us right now on John and Jim. So on one hand, obviously, no team wants to go out with a loss. But obviously, if you don't go out with a loss, you've won a national championship. So on one hand, you lose in the opening round of the NCAA tournament to North Carolina in that fashion. On the other hand, now that we're into the offseason, heading for the next season, has that been motivational at all, the disappointment of that night? And has that kind of propelled you and your teammates into this offseason and into the upcoming year?
Definitely. I mean, nobody wants to go out like that. And I think just the feeling that we felt in that moment is definitely something that we draw upon almost on a daily basis, or at least I draw upon on a daily basis. And just when I don't feel like, some days you be tired and don't really feel like giving, it's another reason to give. Just thinking back on that time and how that felt and just being put in that position, it didn't really feel too nice. So using that as motivation and fuel to really just attack each day.
What are some things that you have, tried to improve on this offseason that you really want to take to the court this year for this Aztec team?
I think just my leadership skills. I think just being more vocal and being more of a glue guy for the whole team. Because I know at times, especially in a game like basketball, emotions are high. So if I'm able to control myself and master my emotions, then I feel it'll grant us more success.
Does it feel different having so many pieces back? Because a year ago you didn't, but you still got all the way to the NCAA tournament and, beat teams like Houston and Creighton and had success in the Mountain West. But this time around, it's just there's more continuity with the roster. What impact is that going to have?
I think we have that relationship with each other. So if somebody's not giving it their all, and the whole team will be able to call them out, and nobody will really take it personal, because we know what each other can do, and we only want to see each other do our best. So really just being able to pick each other up and bring everybody to their highest level.
What was the decision for the new haircut, BJ?
I just feel like I'm getting a bit older, and I've had my hair for quite some time, and I wanted to just hone in a little bit more on my career and my life choices. So I decided to, let it go, start off on a new chapter.
To be honest with you, when I saw videos, I did not recognize you. I was like, wait, who's the new guy out there? Oh, it's BJ Davis. Like, oh, okay. Looks good, man. Looks very good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have you gotten a ton of reaction to that? You know how people are with social media. Like, have you received a ton of off-season reaction to like some of the stuff that's been posted on social media from like Aztec social media accounts?
Yeah, surprisingly, most people, they don't really like you said, they don't really recognize me, and I can tell because the way they look at me is like they've seen me before, but they don't know if they've seen me before. So it's definitely it's hysterical.
Like, who's the new guy?
Yeah.
You can shoot it.
Right. New cut, same player
Yeah,
as he heads into his junior season at San Diego State. BJ, we appreciate you taking time for us. Everyone's excited, obviously, for the upcoming season, which will get underway in November. Viejas Arena, San Diego State back on the floor. Appreciate you doing it, man, and we'll see you again soon, and thanks for taking time for us.
Thank you, man. I genuinely appreciate it.
All right, that was great stuff. BJ Davis heading into his junior year. And yes, I think if I would have been at practice without knowing he had cut his hair, I would have done the double take and be like, what am I missing here? Because, I mean, it's a big, if you were I cut her hair, it's not as significant, but like this is a completely new look.
Nobody cares about us, Sean.
Well, it's fair too.
I did have a shaved
That's
head.
fair.
I did have a shaved head for like all the way up until 24 years old, I think it was.
Why don't you go back to that? If Xander Bogaerts has a hit with runners in scoring position, will you shave your head? Or if JP Sears gets option to AAA, will you shave your head? Because if so, you're going to need to do it about a minute ago.
Yeah, I need to do it right now, actually. Bring the clippers in.
We have an update on JP Sears that we'll share with you on the other side. Plus, you're going to hear from Cynthia Freeland, NFL Network. Let's do that conversation from yesterday coming up at 4 p.m. We're here until 6 p.m. We're getting you ready for Padres and Diamondbacks. Great to connect there with BJ Davis. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, so in Padres land, a lot going on because a moment before they released their lineup for tonight, they didn't release JP Sears, but they sent him down. Should come as no surprise.
No, especially if King is returning.
Exactly. That he could have pitched well yesterday. They still would have optioned him because you can now add a reliever for the starter. So Sean Reynolds is up, JP Sears is down, and that's merited based on the performance yesterday. And then the Padres put out their lineup, and we just spent like 15 minutes talking about the offense. And they didn't necessarily address it with their lineup once again here today. Ryan O'Hearn is not in the lineup against a right-handed starting pitching. O'Hearn has been terrific against right-handed pitching so far this year, but for whatever reason, O'Hearn has been a bench piece his first week in a Padres uniform as opposed to a starter by and large.
So the reason why is because they put Manny as the DH tonight, and to play third base, Jose Iglesias has to be out there.
So the Preston, and I understand it, is Manny Machado, which I get.
Right.
I understand that completely, but it kind of sucks, to put it frankly, to be at the expense of getting Ryan O'Hearn into the lineup against right-handed pitching.
Yeah, because you're like, all right, if you're going to schedule a off your feet day for Manny Machado, wouldn't you do it like, I don't know, maybe tomorrow? Because then you got an off day Thursday, you get him off his feet for 2 straight days, have him be the DH.
Yeah. Now, who are they facing tomorrow, righty or lefty? That's the other part of the conversation. D-backs probables. Because, yeah, you're going to need to get O'Hearn in there against right-handed pitching. They're facing a righty tomorrow, so maybe he starts against Anthony DeSclafani. Yeah, but, I mean, you need to play him every night against right-handed starting pitching. There's only 49 games left. Mm-hmm. You're going to face righties 2/3 of the time. He's only going to make 30 starts.
And look, if they go out and they score 6 runs tonight,
it's mute.
It's mute, exactly. But if they don't, and you still got Xander hitting 5th, and you don't have O'Hearn in the lineup, and Jose Iglesias is out there, I just don't understand it. I don't.
And like you said, Ryan Nelson has been really good for the Diamondbacks. This is not an average starter. He's had good numbers. And Arizona has proven tough to beat for the Padres. Arizona's 3-1 against the Padres at Chase this year. So, like, put your best lineup out there. Maybe it does work, to your point. Their offense has been better. Mm-hmm. It wasn't yesterday. But maybe it all comes together tonight, and maybe O'Hearn comes through off the bench tonight. It's just a little odd. I get getting Machado off his feet if that's the game plan, and he's been so productive and so valuable. But I don't know. There's 49 games left. Ryan O'Hearn should start against right-handed pitching.
Yeah,
that's it.
We're in a sprint. We're in a sprint in your season. Less than 50 games remaining.
Yep.
You need to put your best foot forward.
Mm-hmm.
This is not May 5th.
Yeah.
It's August 5th. Okay? I'm sorry. The best guy's got to be out there. And if Jose Iglesias is going to get just as many at-bats as Ryan O'Hearn, what are we doing? It doesn't make sense to me. Then again, if you go out and score 6 runs, 7 runs tonight, then shut up, Jim, you're an idiot. But if they don't, then I'm going to question why the lineup looks the way it does.
I mean, honestly, even you're not having Gavin Sheets has hit right-handed pitching. The whole conversation was never about should Sheets play against righties. It was should Sheets play every day. But I mean, if you're not going to play O'Hearn, then certainly you're playing Gavin Sheets, right? Or if you're not playing Sheets, certainly you're playing O'Hearn, right? No. Now you have options off your bench, but what's your preference? You want a guy getting 4 at-bats, or you want someone maybe getting 1?
Jose Iglesias is hitting 210 off righties this year. I get it. You need to have a third baseman. You can't just play a game without a third baseman.
I mean, it would be an interesting strategy.
And if Manny Machado is going to get a day off his feet and be a DH for you, you got one option to play third base. That's Jose Iglesias, regardless if it's a righty or lefty on the mound. I just think that the thinking behind that doesn't make sense. And yes, we are nitpicking. We are under 50 games.
Yep.
Okay. We're in a sprint. Every single game is magnified from here on out, especially with where the Padres are at in the wild card standings and where they're at as far as the division race goes. So you can't just like go, oh, it's just one game. It's just one. It might just be one game, but that one game might determine if you win the division or you are the 6th seed in the wild card.
You know, that's such a good point. I mean, here's the difference in baseball to that point. The point you just made is you could be anywhere from like a 2 seed through a 6 seed based on one game. You're like, well, how's that possible? Because the winner of the division could be like a 2 seed, and the loser of the division, I guess maybe it doesn't fall all the way down to the 6. But I mean, from 3 to 6, you could fall. The team that wins the division is automatically the 3.
And that's home field in the wild card.
And then you get slotted in.
Mhm.
So if those other wild card teams have a better record than you, all of a sudden think about that. Think about the scenario. And not to say it's going to be decided by one game, but just hear me out. Imagine the Dodgers are the worst division winner for a second by record. Very possible, right? With the way the Brewers are played, with the way the Phillies and the Mets are capable of playing. Imagine the Dodgers are the worst division winner and you're the 6th seed. You're playing a 3-game series at Dodger Stadium to move on. Like, that's asking a lot, is it not? Yeah, it is. So I'm with you. I don't think we should be treating this as the marathon portion of the season.
No.
I think we should be treating this like full throttle, time to go win 2/3 of their games from here on out. And from there, let the chips fall. But you got to play at a high clip. And they illustrated this yesterday on MLB Network. Padres are elite at home. They're bad on the road.
They're not good on the road.
They're 6 games under 500 on the road. Do you trust them to win a 3-game series in Philadelphia or at Dodger Stadium? No, you want home field is the point.
Yeah, we are in the portion of your season. It's best foot forward damn near every game, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're off Thursday. They were off last Thursday. They're not playing 20 and 20.
Yeah, does Manny really need to have a DH day today?
See, that I don't know. Because we don't know that when he gets to the ballpark, he says, Mike, I have no idea. Hey, my knee. Hey, my leg. Hey, my arm. I mean, it could be completely understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy plays like no one else. And he might get in there and be like, look at my foot. Or like, I need a day. Then I get it. How could you say anything else? But with an off day coming in 48 hours, you'd prefer the off day.
Yeah, if you want to get really creative, they wouldn't do it. But you're not taking a Rise out of the lineup coming off of
No, he's hitting.
Yeah, he's hitting. Yeah, he went 0 for yesterday, and his 16-game hitting streak got snapped. But you're not taking him out of the lineup. If you really want to get creative, then I don't think they would do it because when's the last time Luis Vries played second base for this team?
How many times has he done it as a Padre? Not a lot.
Barely
right?
any.
Yeah, not a lot.
They don't trust his range.
No.
They don't trust his glove over there.
And he's been serviceable defensively at first.
He has. But if you wanted to get creative, and if they had Luis Vries play any second base this year, which I don't think they have,
I'm going to look it up.
Then this is a spot where you put O'Hearn at first and you put Arise at second, Bogarts at short, and Iglesias at third if you're, so hell-bent on giving Manny a day off his feet.
0 games at second this year, 9 in his Padres career all last year.
Okay,
Only 6 starts, 3 times, because of a switch.
So yeah, they're not they can't do that because they won't do
it.
They won't do it. And they haven't done it. So to ask for that, not happening. There's only really 2 spots for O'Hearn to play. It's first and it's DH, but you're not taking Arise out of the lineup unless you put Arise as your DH.
Yeah. He's such an interesting player because to not hit for power and not have defensive flexibility like Luis Arraez right now.
That's why they're not going to resign him. And that's why they think that $14 million a year for Luis Arraez
exactly right.
isn't worth it. And I would maybe tend to agree with that.
Yeah, because again, a corner infielder isn't typically the guy that's going to hit 298, but without power.
Yeah, I got to go back and look. Was O'Hearn was playing every day for the Orioles, if I'm not right?
Ryan O'Hearn was playing every day, and he was right in the middle of their lineup. I'm pretty sure. Now, they weren't playing well, but I thought we had this conversation. I'll look at his game logs. I thought he was playing every day. Or certainly was playing against right-handed pitching. How many games did he appear in? He played every day. He's appeared in 113 games this year. He played in 109 games with the Orioles.
320 at-bats on the season.
I'm looking at his plate appearances, though. He was basically playing every day.
Yeah, he does really well against righties. 855 OPS. He's 288 on the season. 13 home runs, 40 RBIs against right-handed pitching this year. He has 0 home runs against lefties this season.
Just play him against righties.
Play him against righties.
Fine.
But when there's a righty on the mound,
he's got to play.
Got to play him. That's why last night, or against, was it a lefty on the mound for the?
It was a lefty, right?
No, Brandon Pfaadt was a righty.
Yeah, you're right.
He still didn't play.
I mean, you didn't acquire him to sit him. I wouldn't think. Like, it's probably a little awkward there. If I'm Ryan O'Hearn, like, yeah, I'll do everything it takes to win or anything it takes to win. I was an all-star playing every day, and now I can't get on the field for this team. This offense has been very mid, by the way, this year.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. The Machado thing makes sense to me because it's Manny Machado.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And you're right. They don't have a lot of defensive flexibility with their current roster.
Because you're not going to defensively put Gavin Sheets in left field over Ramon Liriano.
Correct.
Right? Liriano's going to play every day.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to play every day. He's going to be in left field. Sheets will now be only a DH. O'Hearn will play at first and be a DH, but you're not going to play much first base, you would think, because of Vries. But then again, you got O'Hearn to improve your everyday lineup. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It absolutely is interesting. We'll continue the conversation in the 4:00 hour and hear from Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network on the other side with camps open, with preseason football now underway. Cynthia Freeland, friend of the show from the NFL Network. If you missed our conversation, you're going to hear that coming up on the other side. We'd love to hear from you as well. 877-767-4760, or you can text us 70470. Start your message with the word team. Hour 3 of John and Jim comes your way next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples Stores, Padres, and D-backs. Game 2 of their 3-game series tonight in the desert. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres against Ryan Nelson for the D-backs. How many times have we all said that was easy? Well, the Staples Easy button is back, and it's got everyone saying it again for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos, plus quality products delivered next day to over 98% of the U.S. Staples. That was easy.
It's John and Jim to warm up that drive home.
JP Sears making his Padres debut. We were looking forward to it. And then you watch it play out. And let's be honest. I mean, it played out terribly. He allows 10 hits. Everything was hit hard, home runs. He didn't really give the Padres an opportunity to win the game.
It wasn't good is an understatement. I don't know, man. I didn't see it last night. I didn't expect him to go out there and go 7 shutout. Will JP Sears, once Michael King return, pitch much in the second half for the Major League team? Probably not.
Now, live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of John and Jim. Actually, we'll touch on that in 15 minutes. Will we see JP Sears again in the regular season in a Padres uniform? The reason I bring it up, Jim, is because of a tweet that Kevin Acee sent out in the last few minutes. So we'll get into that in about 15 minutes. But if you missed Cynthia Freeland, and hopefully she's with us throughout the course of the 2025 football season, but she's terrific, NFL Network analytics expert. We had her on yesterday from the NFL Network, and we started just by talking about how great of a time of year it truly is.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to about, I think this is my 9th camp. I got one more left to go. So it's good to, like, everyone's so happy. Like, it's a great time of year. It's the best time. Everyone can win the Super Bowl right now. It's great.
Other than the Cowboys, let's start here. Okay, Cowboys, Micah Parsons. You expect this to be resolved, right, or not?
You know, it's an interesting question because, like, there's 2 sides of this. The first is, I don't think that, I know Jerry has a soft spot for Micah, and I know that this is kind of what the Cowboys do, the way they handle their cap, when they pay people, the timing. None of this is new. Now, that being said, to go on social media and outright say the things that, you know, not just hint at, not do an interview where there's some question. No. He wrote it. It's there. You can go read it now. And to say that, especially given how much leverage this man does have, I don't know. I mean, I have sources that saying he won't be playing there. And but my guts, is Jerry really going to let him walk out the door? I've heard how Jerry talks about this man. Like, it's not the same for every player. So this one feels like it's just reaching loggerheads here. It's not great.
We talked about this a little bit ago. Best landing spot, hypothetically, if they were to trade Micah Parsons, even if the percentage chance of that is low, where would be, in your opinion, the best landing spot that would make sense? Not, you can't say the Eagles because that would never happen, or the Commanders,
right.
But
you're not getting the Eagles because they're never going to trade him, right?
Never. Yeah,
they can't trade him in divisions. Never going to happen. I would imagine it has to be someone in the AFC, and I would have to imagine it has to be someone who has the cap space and the ability to handle it from a standpoint of not just this year's cap space, but it won't kind of screw them over going forward. So, that does limit some of the options. However, there are certainly options given a different position. He's no longer there. If they get that 30, that same agent, by the way, I suppose my answer is more interesting. So perhaps that doesn't get done. But, I would love to but I don't think that there's to be a team that they don't that has basically a quarterback or a veteran quarterback.
Cynthia Freeland
on a discount.
I apologize, Cynthia. Cynthia Freeland, NFL Network, with us right now on John and Jim. Just to continue down the Cowboys conversation, I mean, with or without Micah Parsons, what are your expectations for them this year?
Same. I mean, you don't get better when you lose Zach Martin. Especially the run game is confusing. I like Dak. He's been injured. Last year, he was on pace for the most interceptions he's ever thrown and a terrible number in the limited games he did play. I don't think I'm not so like, I love that they've chose Tyler Booker, but you don't easily replace a guy who's going to be a Hall of Famer, if not a first ballot Hall of Famer. The defense without Micah Parsons is less interesting. And I just think it's kind of that they're running back the same team and the same game plan, but without making any of the upgrades. Like, I feel like we could have had the same exact conversation last year, but Micah was playing.
What camps have you been to this year, Cynthia?
I've been to the ones near LA, so that includes the Cowboys.
Okay.
I just went as a fan for those three. I went to Lions. I went to Broncos, Raiders, and I'll go to the Cardinals on Wednesday.
And if you were to go to, let's say, the Bears camp, would you be concerned that Caleb Williams can't hit a net with the viral video that's been going out there right now?
Listen, only if your producer knows it. Does it exist if you don't see it? I mean, I think like if your producer doesn't see it, then maybe you don't, anyways, just a question. But ultimately, no, I'm not really worried about the net. I am more worried about the fact that we've seen a history of many offensive coordinators when they turn into a head coach, they struggle to be able to create kind of both sides to the level that is required in the National Football League. So as much as, Ben Johnson was so highly sought after and all of these different, offensive principles, like they did not address tackle, and their tackles were a problem. They did not really address, some of the things that with Caleb Williams, like, okay, the run game should be better. Got it. But how long is it going to take for Caleb Williams to get the fact that he was sacked like every 10th play out of his brain? I don't know. But also, if you're a great offensive mind, how much are you devoting resource-wise, and meaning your time resource and your thought resource to the defense? That's hard. He comes from Dan Campbell is a coach that allows the offensive coordinator to do the offense and the defensive coordinator to do the defense. Well, is Ben Johnson going to be able to do both? That's the question I have more than anything else.
Cynthia Freeland back with us right now. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 from the NFL Network. So last year, obviously, the Commanders just bursting onto the scene, the upset in the postseason in Detroit. They're all of a sudden in an NFC Championship game. So it's probably more likely they take the step back, right, as opposed to a step forwards. What do you expect them to look like this year?
Is Terry McLaurin there or not there?
Right. Yeah.
I know they have Debo. I know they're okay. The hard part now is, when you go from playing it sounds stupid, but a fourth place schedule is significantly easier to play than a second place schedule. So there are some things that the scheduling gods do to give parity a real run for its money every season. I like Jaden Daniels. I'm not worried about him taking a massive step back, but I think that there's always a step back for at least a little while, because now defenses will be really keyed in on the things that Jaden Daniels does well. So you're not now getting the element of surprise, right? You're not able to get that rookie sort of like opportunity to get like your, the defense plays it in a way that they think Cliff Kingsbury wants to play, not necessarily, come up with certain disguises that are specific for Jaden Daniels. So it's going to get harder for them. And I don't necessarily think, they earned one of the biggest, year over year win increases that like anyone's ever seen. 11 games is so many, but I think they'll be good, and I think they'll definitely be, in contention and to go to the playoffs. But I don't know if I think that they're going to be able to overtake the Eagles.
Speaking of the Eagles, in your opinion, who's the biggest threat in the entire NFL to the Eagles this year, in your opinion?
Does it have to just be the NFC, or can it be the AFC?
It can be anybody.
Well, in the NFC, I think the Niners could again be a problem. I think, we talk about schedule. They're playing a fourth place schedule, and the NFC West's unique opponents include the NFC South and the AFC South. Great, good news. And that's not bad. Not bad news, at least.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at that, and if everyone can stay healthy, I expect Kyle Shanahan to be able to field the team just like he does every single season. So that team will go how Christian McCaffrey goes. Now, if you're talking whole NFL wise, I can't imagine a world where, to me, the Bills are in such a prime position right now. The Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs, they're always in contention. Even the Broncos could come out and surprise. I think that AFC West is going to be a total nightmare yet again. But I think the Bills have a little bit of a benefit of a tiny easier schedule than the rest of them. And sometimes those marginal differences can really add up to big gains.
Are you expecting, is there going to be a breakthrough at some point from Lamar Jackson based on your experience at some point in his postseason career? I mean, he's been such a brilliant regular season player, but he's under 500, obviously, in the postseason. They have not had that breakthrough as of yet. Is it inevitable or not?
Psychology is really powerful. And it's so hard because I feel like if it just once, then it would be like we would have a real hard time stopping Lamar Jackson and the Ravens if he could just figure it out the one time. But it seems to be the juggernaut. It seems to be the kryptonite, right? And I'm worried about that defense a little bit because Zach Orr now takes over fully. Dean Pease isn't returning. Dean Pease was really very instrumental in teaching kind of the fundamentals. So we'll have to, I'm curious because my point in bringing that up is that would put more stress, especially in the playoffs, on Lamar Jackson and the offense should they not be able to have as stout of a defense.
Do the Chargers have enough weapons, in your opinion, for Herbert this year?
Not yet.
How do they overcome that then? I know that Keenan Allen was in the facility today, but how do they overcome that? Because now you're in year 2 of Harbaugh, and they did well last year, but still it feels like the addressing of the weapons needs for Justin Herbert it's still not there. In your opinion, it sounds like it's still not there as well.
There's a lot to ask of Vlad McConkey. That's a lot to ask of the guys who are currently there. You need a guy who's a true X that scares the pants off of someone else, right? It just really, especially with Herbert's arm, and Herbert's arm is nothing to mess around with. We didn't get to see it in its full glory necessarily as much last season as in prior seasons. But, I think that a lot of Harbaugh's philosophy comes from the run. We know that. And from the run, you get passing and different passing concepts and trees and ways of coordinating the passing game. And I think that it can click really well. I think you just need a little more. I also would say that if they address the secondary a little bit and maybe kind of shore up that secondary will help, because then the ball control style that I think Jim Harbaugh wants to play would be far more effective if the passing game on the defense wasn't, an area of vulnerability.
So, if you're the Chargers, wouldn't it make sense to, you see a wide receiver out there that's asking for a trade in Terry McLaurin, when you want to try to go hard after him, if he truly is going to be dealt here? I think Terry McLaurin and put him in that offense. Don't you think that would work?
I would love to see that. I think that would be really exciting. I don't know. It feels like the Terry McLaurin thing is less serious, maybe because of the way Micah Parsons has been so hard about, very hard, drew a very hard line in the sand. So for whatever reason, the Terry McLaurin trade demand feels more like a trade, hey, so can I get traded? As opposed to Micah Parsons, get me out of here,
Yeah, that makes sense. Final one for me, Ashton Genty. What's realistic in terms of total yardage if he's healthy? Can he run for 1,200 yards as a rookie?
I think the pass catching is the upside too. So to me, Chip Kelly, right? What do Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly, they want to run the ball. Mm-hmm. What do they want to do? They want control. They want everything comes from passing concepts that are rooted in efficient runs, not, 2nd and 12, right? They want to be in 2nd and 4. They want to get those 6 yards. Now, is it going to be, Ashton Genty for me? It will all come down to we saw it in college, his ability to break tackles. They had a scrimmage out here. I'm in Vegas right now. They had a scrimmage out here last Friday, and you saw some great things from the offense, but they weren't allowed to tackle. I want to know if that tackle breaking ability that I believe will be so strong, I want to see that play out. So for me, it's all upside for Ashton Genty. He's going to be able to, if once he gets the hang of breaking NFL tackles, he can be a real nightmare.
No doubt about it. If they're not allowed to tackle in regular season games, he's going to go for more than 1,200 yards. Trust me on it. I can see it.
It's a bold take.
It's a bold take. Cynthia, we appreciate you taking time for us. Let's do it again later on as we get ready for the regular season. And thanks for taking time in San Diego as always.
You got it. I love San Diego. By the way, I got to see Antonio Gates, and Phillip Rivers was out there too in his Hall of Fame speech. And it was very special, especially considering you always forget, this man made it undrafted. He didn't even play college football. He's such a special talent, and San Diego loves him. So it was really cool to see.
Yeah, my favorite part was, I don't like the Chargers move. So when he talked about LA, crickets, and then he mentioned San Diego, the whole place erupted. I thought that was the coolest moment.
You had a lot of SoCal guys there. Yeah, no, it was amazing. It was funny, like Eric Allen gave his home address up. I was like, oh my goodness, and he's in San Diego too. I'm like,
oh boy.
Like maybe don't dock yourself, sir.
Yeah, probably not.
Cynthia, we appreciate you. Be well. We'll talk soon.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
All right. All right, great to connect, and hopefully we'll do it again before the start of the NFL season. Now, there's a tweet from Kevin Acee we'll discuss on the other side related to JP Sears, plus more conversation on tonight's lineup in Arizona for the Padres with some of the newcomers sitting here tonight against a right-handed starter. So we'll discuss that on the other side here until 6 p.m. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right. AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM to 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply.
So earlier this morning, Darren, you know Darren, right?
Very
Darren
well,
Smith.
of course.
Yeah, he does a new podcast called Section 1904.
Yeah.
And they posted a clip this morning about Petco Park and its rankings as far as, where all of Major League Baseball. Like,
Okay.
for the last however many years, they have, branded Petco Park as the number one ballpark in America. And I saw the clip, and the title was America's number sixth ballpark. Like,
Number six.
Number six.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is interesting. So I listened, and Darren, he did the investigative reporting.
Right.
And then I followed up to see, okay, I need to see this for myself as well. And
So you went to Google?
I went to Google, the internet.
Right.
It has everything there. And you go to USA Today and you just type in, top MLB ballparks according to USA Today, because that's where the Padres get where they're the number one ranked ballpark in America.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked, and they're not the number one ranked ballpark in America. This is a good job by Darren to find this out. And I think I know where he was going with this, because the reason why he looked it up was in the email to all the season ticket holders. Once again, they're promoting and parading that Petco is the number one ballpark in America. And they're really not. Do you want to know where they're ranked, John?
Well, you just told us.
Yeah, sixth. And it's not number one.
Well, here's what
False
I would
advertising.
Say. Well, here's what I would say. Yeah, it's true. If you advertise yourself as number one according to USA Today rankings, I guess you have to update them if USA Today updates their rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, rankings are always a little subjective. For example, Dodger Stadium is 7th on this list. There's no way Dodger Stadium should be 7th in Major League Baseball for ballparks.
Mm-hmm.
The top 5 right now: Fenway 5th, Oracle in San Francisco. No, excuse me, Oriole Park in Baltimore 4th, Wrigley 3rd, Oracle 2nd, and PNC Park, which I've always sung the praises of, in Pittsburgh, number 1. Listen, I think Petco's a great park, but it is kind of interesting that if you label yourself as the number one ballpark based on those rankings, do you then have to change that labeling?
Like, how long are they going to continue to just label themselves the number one ballpark?
Forever. I've read articles about it. They basically have self-fulfilled it, though. They're just going to keep saying that because
who's going to check?
Who's
going to
call them out?
Well, Darren called them out on this.
Yeah, we will. No, the media will.
I saw that and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
So we will as well. I mean, is that a fair rank? Did they really drop from 1 to 6? What the heck happened? Right? Like, what happened?
And then my question now is, how long have they have not been the number one ballpark? Like, were they the number one ballpark
That's a great
last
question.
year? Were they the number one ballpark the year before?
That's a great question.
Because at one time they were ranked the number one ballpark.
Well, apparently.
But how many years have they not been ranked the number one ballpark?
According to AI, Petco Park, home of the Padres, is consistently ranked as one of the best Major League ballparks, often topping lists like the USA Today.
Well, it doesn't roll off the tongue when you say Petco Park, one of the best ballparks in America.
According to AI, USA Today's 2024 rankings place Petco Park at the top, noting its perfect ballpark status. They went from perfect ballpark to 6th?
Huh?
Man, what happened?
I know.
They must have been watching the offense. It's not, right? I mean, seriously, how do you get passed by 5?
Maybe.
I get going from 1 to 2. Hey, all these upgrades at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. It's become the preeminent ballpark in America. You went from 1 to 6? What happened?
Maybe they didn't like what they did with Gallagher Square.
How's that possible? We've sung the praises of that. Gallagher Square is beautiful. They've got the largest bat, like jungle gym in the world. They're always talking about that on their ads. So are you saying that they should stop using the number one?
Well, I mean, it is.
Moniker?
Look, it's false advertising.
Right.
You can't just parade, oh, we're the number one ballpark in America.
Then be 6.
When you're not the number one ballpark in America.
Well, it depends. They could put an asterisk down there and put 2023 that they were. Well, then it would be just like if you won an Academy Award. You don't have to preface every year what year you won the Academy Award. If I won it, I say
Academy Award winner.
Yeah, I'm an Academy Award winner.
But it's different.
Best ballpark winner.
Best ballpark winner.
I mean, listen, if we lose best radio show next year, I'm still going to say best sports talk radio.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
That's the business.
Yeah. Because you're not specifically saying you're the best ballpark this year. You're just saying we've won the award in the past.
Well, we are the best sports talk show in San Diego this year, 100%. But you're right. If we lose next year, then
it is interesting. It is interesting.
Now, I did pull up the top ballparks in America according to USA Today in 2024 as well.
And this is Petco.
No, PNC Park's number 1.
When's the last time Petco was the number 1?
Oracle
ballpark?
Park is number 2. Wrigley Field is number 3. Camden Yards is number 4. Fenway Park's number 5. Petco still is number 6.
Oh, so they haven't even gone up or down.
Now I need to know when the last time they were the number 1 ballpark in America, according to USA Today.
2006. No. It's maybe been a while. That's interesting.
2023.
I just Googled that. I couldn't. Okay, here it is. Maybe
let's look at 2023. All right, here we go. Here's the number. Here's the ballparks ranked in 2023. Wait, this is different.
Petco?
This is a site called For the Win. I don't know what that is.
Right.
No, that's not it.
2023. Here it is.
You mean 2023? What do we got?
You said it's For the Win. But For the Win is owned by USA Today. Look at the URL.
Oh, it is? Okay, so maybe they just take the
Park.
Petco Park's number 1?
2023.
All right, so they haven't been the number 1 ballpark in America since 2023, yet they're parading around saying they're the number 1 ballpark in America. That's false advertising. I want my money back.
It says Petco is the best food and beer selection in baseball. And now the Padres are among the most exciting teams in baseball.
That was 2023. That year was awful.
Yeah, so maybe that's why
the team was a disaster. It was the biggest flop in the history of the sport.
All right, this is interesting. All right, back to JP Sears and his option. When will we see him again? Plus the Padres lineup tonight in Arizona. Here until 6 p.m. John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Padres and D-backs, game 2 of their 3-game series tonight in the desert. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres against Ryan Nelson for the D-backs. How many times have we all said that was easy? Well, the Staples Easy button is back, and it's got everyone saying it again for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos, plus quality products delivered next day to over 98% of the U.S. Staples. That was easy.
All right, so John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. If you missed our conversation with Aztec junior guard BJ Davis, you'll hear it coming up at 5:30. Kevin Acee, we'll get back into this Padres lineup tonight, which is certainly interesting, not necessarily in a good way. But listen to this from Acee. We know that JP Sears was option. Okay, if you missed that, it happened within the hour.
Yeah.
Sean Reynolds, the reliever, is back. He says Sears has to remain in the minors for 15 days unless he's recalled to replace an injured player. But that will be just about the time they might need a 6th starter. So will the Padres in the final month of the season or late August, because of scheduling, give guys more rest, like Darvish? You could argue the 6th day, maybe King. Are they going to go to a 6-starter rotation? This is Kevin, who covers the team every single day. I mean, he wrote that today. It's kind of interesting he wrote it that way. He wasn't like, hey, see you later, JP Sears. We'll see you in 2026. He's like, hey, we'll be down for 15 days and then 6-man rotation maybe. Is that part of the plan?
Do you want to go 6-man rotation in August and September?
I mean, it takes someone out of your bullpen. It protects players like veteran starters. I would say Darvish specifically.
My thinking is when you get to August and September, it's go time.
So you're leaning more into the regular rest, not the extended rest.
I'm all good with a 6-man rotation in May, June, and July. But like, you have visions of competing for a division, do you not?
They do.
You have visions of getting a top wild card spot if you can't win the division, do they not?
They do.
So wouldn't you want, and this is the same argument about tonight's lineup, you got less than 50 games remaining. You're in sprint mode. You're in the 6th spot in the wild card race in the National League. You have a 3-game lead on the Reds. You trail the Dodgers by 3 games in the National League West. Mm-hmm. Why are we giving guys off days, and why would we go to a 6-man instead of maximizing and having Nick Pivetta out there as much as possible?
My issue has always been this. I agree. My issue with the 6-man is when you have an off day, which they have all the time, right? All these Thursdays off we talked about in September. They have multiple Thursdays off and a Monday off. A 6-man rotation with an off day means you pitch every 7th day. Think about that. 6-man rotation means you pitch every 7th day with an off day. That to me is too light. So I don't necessarily understand the quote unquote need. Like, are you protecting Yu Darvish? Well, he hasn't pitched all this year. Are you protecting Michael King? He has no innings on his arm this year. So who is it really benefiting? Don't you want to see more of Nick Pivetta in the second half, not less?
I want to see more Nick Pivetta. I want to see more Ryan O'Hearn. I want to see as much Mason Miller as possible. I want to see as much Michael King and Yu Darvish and Nick Pivetta. Like,
yeah, you're not going to see O'Hearn in the rotation. I know.
Well, you get my point.
Yeah. Now back to the lineup tonight. The intrigue is that you've got a, kind of a righty killer in Ryan O'Hearn. He's got this, 865. I think I have that right. 855 or 865 OPS against right-handed pitching. The starter tonight, Ryan Nelson, is a righty. O'Hearn didn't start yesterday against a right-handed pitcher. And we think the reason is because of defensive alignment, essentially. Manny Machado off his feet means Jose Iglesias is playing third base, which ultimately gets Ryan O'Hearn on the bench along with Gavin Sheets.
And shout out to Clark on X, covers the Padres minor league system for Mad Friars. Does a really good job there. Great follow. His follow is at CFAHRENTHOLD 11. So follow him on X. And he put out a really good tweet with this lineup. He says that Diamondback starting pitcher Ryan Nelson is extremely fastball heavy, throwing his fastball at 63% in 2025. Here's Ryan O'Hearn's numbers in 2025 against right-handed pitching fastballs. He has a 191 WRC plus, which would be the second best on the Padres, and a 1202 OPS, which is second best on the Padres. Yet he is not in the starting lineup tonight. Instead, you have a player in there in Jose Iglesias that is awful against right-handed pitching,
right? Because
they are deciding to give Manny a day off his feet and have him as the DH.
I would like to hear from Mike Schill pregame. Now, we would then need the audio to do that.
Yeah.
But I would like to hear from Mike Schilt pregame. We got audio yesterday from the Padres. Hopefully we'll get audio again, and we'll share that conversation with the media because it's a question that has to be asked.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I am all for it.
You can't get
If he
snippy,
says-
Schilty.
No, but I'm all for it if he says, you know what? Manny's dealing with something. We have to get him off his feet. If they have to get him off his feet, it's better Manny in the lineup than not.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand it from that perspective, but they had last Thursday off. They're off in 2 days. Do you absolutely have to get Manny Machado off his feet? Is the question for me.
My guess would be no.
My guess would be no too, unless he's dealing with something that we're not aware of, which is possible.
Yeah, look,
You know?
it is it is certainly a choice in tonight's lineup. And it all could be for naught if they go out and score 7 runs. And who cares? We're all idiots.
Yeah.
They know way more about baseball than we'll ever know.
But if they lose, we'll be the first to tell you we know more than they do. Well, no, I agree. I mean, or maybe Darvish looks like he did his last time out.
We'll call it out for sure on the wrap-up show.
Maybe Darvish goes 6 or 7 really good innings. They could win a game 3-1 or 2.
Maybe Jose Iglesias has the game-winning RBI tonight.
That would be more likely to be Xander Bogaerts, but I get your point. So we'll see. And yeah, we'll talk about tonight on the wrap-up show on YouTube. So make sure to join us for that. The lineup overall, again, it's funny because since this trade deadline, we're like, oh man, this lineup is going to look completely different. But it actually doesn't.
No.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, Ramon Laureano is a good player.
Freddie Fermin, but he's not in the lineup tonight because it's Elias Diaz.
Only Laureano is the change really from pre-deadline. So it doesn't look all that different.
The bench looks great, but
the bench is good, man.
Bench is great. But here's the thing. I'd rather have a stacked lineup than a stacked bench.
Yeah.
Now, you do need to at least have one bat on your bench that you feel comfortable going to.
Yep.
But when you have like multiple guys on your bench that should be in the lineup against a righty, that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I pretty confident in saying that this lineup tonight doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't. Yeah.
And under this idea, and this may play out. Hey, just win the series. If they, everyone's, it
was fine.
Hey, they lose game 1. Oh my gosh, what happened? Well, if they win today and tomorrow, who cares? You've taken 2 out of 3 on the road.
100%.
The caveat there is you need to win today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the question marks heading into this are A, their lineup against a right-handed pitcher is curious. B, you Darvish, let's be honest, he's been up and down, even though he's coming off a great start. And then Nestor Cortez tomorrow has not pitched in the major league since the first week of April.
Yeah, it is also
coming
something
off
to watch.
Injury.
Maybe be concerned about a little bit.
So, could they win the next 2 games? Yeah, absolutely. Has Arizona fallen off? Are they well under 500? Yes, absolutely. But it's not some foregone conclusion that the Padres will win this series. That's not some inevitability.
I just was under the hope that, after the deadline, the new acquisitions would be out there like all the time. And we would see a lot of them. Ryan O'Hearn, Freddie Fermin, Mason Miller, Ramon Laureano. The only guy that's getting every single day playing time is Ramon Laureano.
I mean, there's no instance where I would have used Mason Miller so far other than the one game I've used.
I agree.
That's the one
I'm
issue.
just saying going forward, I'm going to need to see a lot of Mason Miller.
Yeah, I agree.
But guys thrown only 39 innings this year.
You lead tonight, and you have the 5 high leverage guys, the super pen guys that didn't pitch yesterday with an off day coming Thursday. This may be the first time we see them just unleash their bullpen like that. Maybe. Now, I don't think the expectation for you, Darvish, is 4 innings either.
I hope it's not.
And Schultz said Saturday night, he got defensive about, if you think we're going to use our bullpen 5 innings tonight, I've got news for you. We won't. Mm-hmm. And that's not the plan. And that's why Randy Vasquez is down.
Then why would you not? Why would you use it today instead of tomorrow with Nestor Cortez making his?
Well, either or is my point, because they didn't pitch yesterday.
I would,
because with a lead, I'm not waiting for tomorrow.
If Darvish can give you length tonight and give you 6,
well, if he can, yeah,
you're not going all 5.
No, of course not. Obviously. And that's why I'm the guy saying I don't think we may not see all 5 in a game this year until the postseason. I think you will in the Dodgers series.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's up to Schilt to use all these new pieces and make them work.
Start Miller tonight.
Start O'Hearn. Free Ryan O'Hearn.
Just start him on the mound. Watch. O'Hearn is going to appear. He's going to be a position player on the mound.
Is this one of those situations like the who was that player the Padres traded for that made no sense back in 2020? Adam Frazier. Is this another Adam Frazier situation?
I hope not.
where it's like, oh, nice bat, doesn't fit because we don't know where to put him.
I hope not. It's a good point.
Now,
Too early to say
I think
that.
it's easier to plug in Ryan O'Hearn than it was Adam Frazier. Adam Frazier truly did not have a spot in that team.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Right? There's more paths and lanes to play Ryan O'Hearn. But if you're not playing the dude against righties, especially, what are we doing?
Right. Yeah, this is a fascinating lineup. I am intrigued by it, and we'll see how it plays out tonight for the Padres playing game 2 of their 3-game series in Arizona against the Diamondbacks. We do have a giveaway for you today, and that would be a pair of tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd August 17th at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater. We'll give those tickets away on the other side. We'll hear from BJ Davis, San Diego State junior guard, if you missed it earlier at 5:30. But we're going to give away those tickets on the other side. Australian Pink Floyd, August 17th. That's less than 2 weeks away at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater on campus at San Diego State. Plus much more on tonight. Padres trying to even up this series in Arizona coming up at 6:40. Stay with us. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. I want to hear from Mike Schilt, but the issue is we would need audio. We can't recreate it without the audio. We could reenact it. Like, what do you here? I'll be the reporter, Jim. Okay, you're Mike Schilt. All right. By the way, we're giving away these Australian Pink Floyd tickets.
You don't want me to be Mike Schilt.
I'm the reporter. I'll be I'm Mike Pomerantz. Okay. Schilty, or what does Pom say? Hey, Mike. Looking at this lineup tonight, and I know
look at that lineup.
I know you acquired Ryan O'Hearn, and you got Gavin Sheets, who's done a nice job against right-handed pitching. Why is it? Imagine this question. Why is it that O'Hearn, who specifically is here to hit righties, and Sheets, who has hit righties, is on the bench, Mike?
Well, Scansy, I appreciate the question, but
No, this is Pom.
Oh, thanks, Pommy. I appreciate the question, but look, we have a bunch of new players coming in here, and look, we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and these guys, they're a bunch of winners. They just want to win, and Herney, he's a winner. He's a gamer. And I know he wants to be out there every day, but he's going to do whatever is best for the team. And this lineup tonight, you got some Hall of Famers in this lineup. Look, have you seen who's in this lineup? Manny. The privilege of watching Manny every single day.
That's pretty good.
Merrill, Toddy,
both also
Vries, Hall of Famers. Arise,
all four of them.
He just had a 16-game hitting streak.
That's a Hall of Fame.
The privilege that I get watching the guys in this lineup play is, it's one of the greatest compliments, one of the greatest moments of my life is watching this lineup every single day. So you know what, we're gonna put the best guys out there, and they're gonna go to compete, and they're gonna have great at bats, and we're gonna try to go win the ball game tonight.
For a minute there, I thought JP was gonna throw a no-hitter.
Yeah, exactly. Man, his stuff looked pretty good.
Yeah,
hit 10 times, but the other batters that
ball off his hand
now.
The angle that I got was great.
Well, Mike, I'm glad you mentioned that. I want to follow up with this. Have you talked to Ryan O'Hearn about the role he's going to play for this team?
I think we're getting hung up on all the roles here. And we're going to put the best players in the best lineups out there that we possibly can. And, I know you guys are really concerned about, roles and whatnot, but these players, these gamers that I have, these guys, Grit Squad, right? Grit Squad, they're going to do what's necessary to go and win a ball game. And we're going to go try to win a ball game tonight.
Can you tell me about your education at Mecklenburg High School? He mentioned that yesterday. I don't know. He's like, oh, that's my Mecklenburg elementary degree. Oh, God. That was yesterday. We'll see how close what you just said is to Mike Schilt when we hear from Mike Schilt, if we hear from
Normal
Mike
Height
Schilt.
said that you sound like it's nails on a chalkboard, Jimmy.
Yeah, but so does Mike Schilt, so that's perfect.
I know.
So you did, I thought you did a good job. Seriously. I thought that was very good.
It was okay. I probably could have done better, to be honest with you, but
no, I thought it was good. Yeah. Again, is it, oftentimes we're like, oh, Mike Schilt was he the one that was like, hey, is Mike Schilt the reason why Manny Machado is DHing tonight? I have no idea. Truthfully, what do you got?
Calvin in the chat says, don't forget to sound thirsty like Schilty. Need some water.
It's so true. It's so true.
It's a very dry but wet mouth.
We've said that a lot.
Dude,
it is
move away from the microphone. My gosh. Take a sip of water, but away from the mic. It's like,
dude, you know how we talked about them facing a righty in Nelson?
Yeah.
This would probably be the game to maximize your lineup. I'm just looking at this Jeff Sanders pregame reporting or whatever.
Yeah, Ryan Nelson's been amazing, right?
1.95 ERA in his last 9 starts. This isn't the game to just be like, let's win it with defense.
Jose Iglesias. Let's give him 3 at-bats against Ryan Nelson.
Yeah, it includes an outing in which he went 5 innings, didn't allow an earned run against the Padres in the middle of June. He hasn't been great in his career against the Padres, but again, was his last time out, and he's pitching terrifically. He really is. So, yeah, again, this premise, I even said it yesterday. I'm like, well, they lost game 1, but if they win the next 2 games, it's completely water under the bridge. Bit of a test, I would say, against Nelson, the way he's pitched. And then I have no idea what the expectations are for Nestor Cortez. We had expectations for JP Sears. It didn't look good. I'm not going to like build up the Nestor Cortez start and then have a similar result. So a trickier series than maybe I anticipated, even though we did say House of Horrors heading into it yesterday.
Do you want to know what Ryan Bergert is doing with the Kansas City Royals right now?
Pitching.
He is throwing a baseball off a mound, correct.
Okay, so it's Royals against
Red Sox.
Okay.
With 2 outs in the bottom of the third, he has, let's see here. Sorry, he's completed 3 innings, 1 strikeout, no earned runs, and he's only given up 1 hit through 3.
So no runs.
Correct.
So would you like to relive the Freddie Fermin trade? So Fermin comes here. He's played more often than not in these first 4 games. I think he started 3. He's not starting tonight. So Fermin here, Kolek and Berger to Kansas City. Is that a trade you'd like to relive based on 3 days?
Hey, look.
And 3 innings?
All I know is Ryan Berger would have been a much better option last night than JP Sears. And I think he could have gone out and got a catcher for less than what you paid for Fermin. That's just me, though.
Dude, you should have you considered applying to the Padres front office? Seriously. You go to like Padres.com, scroll to the bottom, there's an application, or go to LinkedIn. Like, honestly, that's amazing. By the way,
here's my credentials. I got nothing.
Berger has had a nice
hindsight
year.
is amazing.
It's a great
Berger's had
hindsight.
a nice year, but he's thrown like no innings.
Okay.
He's thrown, am I wrong? He came into tonight having thrown 35 innings.
All right. Well, there's a 35 great innings.
And Stephen Kolek, who they traded away, had a 4.18 ERA.
Okay. I would love to see when JP Sears threw 38 innings.
But they didn't trade JP Sears for Stephen Kolek and Ryan Berger.
I know, but they replaced Ryan Berger with JP Sears.
Not necessarily, because they also acquired Nestor Cortez.
We'll see what Nestor Cortez does.
Exactly. So I mean, we haven't seen really the way it's all going to play out. It's been 4 days.
I know.
And maybe it's been more than that. It feels like it's only been 4 days.
If you're listening to us today, here's a little behind the scenes. We have a 4-hour show.
No. You have to believe what you're saying.
No, I do believe what I'm saying.
Okay. But if it was a 3-hour show, would you be saying it?
I would still be saying it. Yes. I would say the same thing. We have a 3-hour show to fill, guys.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
And I have opinions. So
again, I'm more of the like, I have opinions, but I can't offer them as of yet. I just can't. I really cannot. I'd be lying if I was like,
that's why I'm here.
Man, these trades, what were they thinking? And then 2 months later, they win the World Series.
No, I'm not saying that though. I'm not saying these trades. What are they thinking? I'm just saying like these trades, they better win.
Yeah,
they better win.
So funny. I know. I'm
emphasizing the point of these trades will look horrific if they don't win.
These trades will look horrific if they don't win. Yeah, they could. They could. I don't think we're all going to be sitting there, man, like Royals, man. I told you Berger and Kolek would be games 1 and 2 of the 2026 World Series. Stephen Kolek, Ryan Berger, they're on Kansas City. The Leo DeVries thing, he plays for the A's franchise. If he is appearing in an ALCS or further at some point in our lifetime, the A's have been sold.
All right, great. Go win then.
But isn't that true?
Yes, it's probably true.
I'm just saying, but you're right. Go win. I completely agree with that. Also, go to your phone and call right now, 877-767-4760. If you want 2 free tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd August 17th, right here at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater on campus at San Diego State. If you want 2 free tickets, be caller 3. Call right now, 877-767-4760. We're giving away 2 free tickets to caller 3, Australian Pink Floyd, August 17th, Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater on campus at SDSU. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Call right now, 877-767-4760. More of this lunacy on the other side. Plus, BJ Davis, San Diego State guard, will join us at 5:30. Actually, joined us earlier. If you missed it, you'll hear it coming up at 5:30. We're here until 6. This is John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Allstate. Padres and D-backs game 2 of their 3-game series tonight in the desert. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Ryan Nelson on the mound for the D-backs. And breaking NFL news, Keenan Allen, he's signing a 1-year, $8.52 million contract with the Los Angeles Chargers. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
It's John and Jim to warm up that drive home.
JP Sears making his Padres debut. We were looking forward to it. And then you watch it play out. And let's be honest. I mean, it played out terribly. He allows 10 hits. Everything was hit hard, home runs. He didn't really give the Padres an opportunity to win the game.
It wasn't good is an understatement. I don't know, man. I didn't see it last night. I didn't expect him to go out there and go 7 shutout. Will JP Sears, once Michael King return, pitch much in the second half for the Major League team? Probably not.
Now live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's John and Jim.
San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of John and Jim. If you missed our conversation with Aztec guard BJ Davis, getting ready for his 3rd year on the Mesa, you'll hear that coming up at 5:30. We're also getting you ready for Padres Diamondbacks game 2. We'll also have Jim's back page coming up later this hour as well. We've kind of run around in circles on 2 topics today. One of which was to start the show like JP Sears, he didn't have it. All right. We all saw it. Padres debut yesterday.
Bye-bye.
He's literally in AAA. The other topic that we spent the last 90 minutes on, and I really want to hear from Mike Schild. Please send me Mike Schild. Not literally, but his audio. The other thing we talked about obsessively is this Padres lineup here tonight. Now we might look really stupid, Jim, in 3 or 4 hours when we do that wrap-up show tonight around 9:30, or we might look like geniuses. But the Padres are not going with one of their acquisitions that is here to hit right-handed pitching in Ryan O'Hearn. Instead, electing to, play Jose Iglesias, for example, today because Manny Machado's off his feet. So an interesting 24 hours, right? They had a 6-game winning streak 3 days ago. Yeah. And now they lose Saturday to St. Louis. They lose yesterday. They are technically 2-2 since the trade deadline. And all of a sudden, these questions that we weren't talking about 2 or 3 days ago are popping up a little more regularly.
Well, look, we buried the lead after last night's loss. The season is over.
We did say that last night.
Yes. So the season is officially over.
No, I want to change my team.
Everybody.
It's not just the season. It's everything.
We're all dead. Everything's over.
I mean, everything's done.
The world is done.
After losing to Arizona, everything is
JP
done.
Sears gave up 5 runs
in 5 innings
and gave up 10 hits.
Yep.
Yeah, just let the asteroid come and annihilate us.
Yeah, writing's on the wall.
Yeah, it's over. No, look, there comes an impatientness. Is that even a word?
No, of course not.
It's not even
impatientness.
It's not even close to a word.
Impatientness.
Impatientness.
That would be impatience.
There's this impatience after a deadline to see all the moves.
Wait, time out. AI said, is impatientness a word? AI, yes. Impatient.
Yes,
I don't know if
it's a word.
It says it's a noun.
It's a noun.
That means the quality or state of being impatient. While impatience is more commonly used, impatientness is a valid alternative, according to several dictionaries.
I'm smart. Say it.
No,
say no.
I will not.
I know. I was questioning if it's even a word in the first place. All right, back to what I was. Yeah, someone. T. Kelly says, "Get at the thesaurus, Jim."
Right.
Maybe one day. After the trade deadline with every team, you're impatient as a fan base to see all these moves work out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, dude. I'm the most impatient person on the planet. I want things right now. I can't wait. I'm not good at it. So, yeah, is there maybe a little overreaction on my part today? Just after seeing JP Sears last night stink it up, you've seen Mason Miller for 1 outing. Ryan O'Hearn has been delegated to bench duties. And, Freddie Fermin is not an everyday catcher because he's not in the lineup again tonight. Probably, yeah, because they just won 6 in a row. They had a 5-1 homestand. They have a 3-game lead in the wild card race for the 6th seed. They're in a good spot, and the overall roster is much better than it was at just this time last week, for sure. But doesn't stop me from having questions about things and looking at things and being like, why is this that? Why is this? Why is this player not playing? Is this player going to produce at a high enough clip to make this trade worth it? Yeah, all those are valid questions to have. And I think, tonight's lineup is probably the biggest question of them all, of like, all right, it's been
4 games.
4 games. Tonight's the 5th game since the deadline. Yet Ryan O'Hearn has not been in the starting lineup 3 of the 5 games.
He's been in the lineup twice. He started 2 games.
He started on Sunday, and he started on.
Okay, so I didn't even
Saturday.
realize. I actually thought in my head he had only started 1 time, but okay, so he's already started to. Yeah, I mean, it's the issue with O'Hearn. He's the one guy that's a rental. So that's where you want to maximize a rental. You're like, well, why does it matter? Well, because he's gone. Because there's a very good chance he's gone at the end of the year. There's 49 games left. He's actually here to hit right-handed pitching. Like, let's be clear, he's not here to hit left-handed pitching. So when you're facing right-handed pitching, I didn't even think it was an option. I just assumed he would be in the lineup every single day. Now, the part I didn't take into consideration, Jim, is that they have to field. You made the good point. They have to field 9 fielders, and there's a belief in baseball you should have a third baseman. So because of that belief, if Manny Machado's a DH, you can't just put 9 guys in your lineup. You have to have a third baseman. Well, they only have one other third baseman. It's Jose Iglesias. So again, I get it from that perspective. It's hard for me to be overly critical until I hear from Schild. Why is Manny off his feet today? Is it just because? That to me is where it becomes the problem. If it's just because. If there's a reason, I get it. But if there's not a reason, it's like, dude, we're going to look up. The season's going to be over, and Ryan O'Hearn is going to come off the bench 60% of the time. That's not going to be that's not going to be appropriate, so to speak.
Now, the next question is, will that specific question be asked to Schilt pregame?
That is an amazing question.
Because that's not 100% guarantee. You got whoever's in Arizona right now. Is it Pomeranz or is it Scans? I think Scans there.
He's Palm's there.
Palm's there.
Did
Okay.
it yesterday,
so
man.
Palm is doing.
Palm's really good with that stuff, truthfully. I mean, he's certainly aware of it. He'd want to ask. He'd want to ask it. It's like if I was there, dude. I could do this right now. If it's me and Schilt right now, I'd be like, I mean, the reaction you're going to get when you question his lineup. Hey, Mike, why is this lineup not include Ryan O'Hearn? Imagine asking it that way to Mike Schilt. He would bark back at you.
Well, then I would throw. I mean, they know the numbers.
Or then you throw something at him?
No, I said I would throw the numbers at him.
Oh.
I wouldn't throw something at Schilt. Like, screw you. O'Hearn's on the lineup. Take my phone to the face. Throw something at him. I'm going to punch Mike Schilt for not having Ryan O'Hearn.
Your explanation isn't good enough. Boom.
Right in the jaw. See how good
That's not good enough.
Ryan O'Hearn's on this lineup. Let's fight.
I kicked him in the shin
and ran away. No, dude, I wasn't going
to throw something.
No, I was going to throw numbers at him.
What's your number? Hey, you guys are 80 and 69 this year.
No, I would say, look, Ryan O'Hearn's hitting 288 off righties, and Jose Iglesias is hitting like 200.
Would you really respond with that?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even ask a question because I'd be too scared to have Mike Schilt just be like,
it's just awkward. I mean, I wouldn't be scared to ask it, but if you do phrase it improperly, he's going to take exception to it. And then I would love the reaction if you're like, well, he hits 300 against lefties and Iglesias hits 210.
I know.
I'd love to hear what he would say there. We'd be like, well, okay, Skipper, who's your third baseman? If Manny needs a day on the bench to DH.
And I'd be like, why does Manny need a day on the bench when you have an off day on Thursday and you could give it to him tomorrow?
Then you throw something else at him.
Like, take my wallet. There's my keys in your face. No, dude. I mean, I get it. It's a valid point. If Manny's the DH, where's O'Hearn playing?
That's my point. And by the way, what does Mike Schilt have to do with Manny potentially coming in and being like, I need a day off my feet?
Is Manny really asking for a day off his feet, or is the team doing it for him?
Well, that's possible too, but the team is front office taking Manny off his feet, not Mike Schilt, would be my guess. There's no way Mike Schilt corners Manny in the clubhouse. It's like, get away from the lineup,
Manny. You're gonna have a day off.
Yeah, there's no way he's like, I'm taking your glove, man. I locked it up.
You lead the league in errors, so we're getting you off your feet.
Who are you, Hulk?
I don't know. I'm
Sounds like
like
it.
an angry Mike Schilt.
Man. But that's the one. And I really like to hear from him. I'm going to say that all hour long. He has spoken, right?
Well, you can't look at me. They
I'm
don't send me
looking at you.
emails
I know
anymore.
they don't send
They
you.
they have blacklisted me from the email list.
It's true.
Have I talked about that on the radio?
Yeah, every day.
I
Has he
emailed them-
talked about that on the radio? Not getting. Yeah, we've made fun of Jim for not getting emails.
I emailed them like in May. I'm like, hey guys, I don't think I'm getting the emails anymore for
It's like the
game
team.
notes, right?
Right.
Because they would send me the game notes and the Mike Schilt. I even emailed them saying, thanks for sending us Mike Schilt. Really appreciate it. Crickets.
Well, maybe you're like in a spam filter. I'm serious.
I looked at my spam filter and then I emailed them.
Did you
nothing
not
back.
get? Oh, they
Boom.
sent us the audio.
Let's go.
They sent it to us 20 minutes ago. All right, we'll hear from Mike Schild on the other side. Brent, when you get this, can you tell us how long this is? Because that'll be dependent on when we take a break.
So I sent this to you 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. Did they send it to you? Maybe it's in your spam.
No, it's not in my spam.
It's because they don't email you.
It's in my nowhere.
Send them an
My
email.
junk mail.
No, maybe it's in your junk.
Nope.
All right, Brent's gonna let us know.
They hate me.
Okay, it's about 5.5 minutes. So do we break and then play that on the other side? Let's take a break because we all want to hear from Mike Schild.
So
I have to have an explanation, but I don't want to hear it beforehand. We're all listening to this together.
We're doing it live.
We want to hear what Mike Schild has to say about sitting Ryan O'Hearn against a right-handed pitcher and Manny Machado being off his feet. And I don't know if it's asked or not. You don't know. It's like opening a pack of cards. We don't know what's in there.
Right. Yeah.
You think it's the last pack of the box and something good is in there because nothing good has come out. No guarantee. Mike Schild, Padres skipper, on the other side. Does Jim throw something at him or not? That's next. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
Oh, man.
Wow.
So excited to hear
Wow.
from Mike Schilt.
Look at that press conference.
All right, let's make a wager before we hear. Will we hear him talk about Ryan O'Hearn?
No.
I agree. Will we hear him talk about JP Sears being optioned? Yes.
Potentially, yes.
Brett, have you heard this whole thing? Okay, good.
No.
Nobody's heard it. Was there any other question we had? Will we hear him asked about America's #1 ballpark?
No. You know what we will hear though is, hey Mike, you Darvish on the mound tonight. What do you think of you Darvish tonight starting coming off a good outing, last outing for the Padres?
Or this is the first question that I would ask. I would ask about you reinventing himself at this stage in his career.
I would too. You know what? I would absolutely ask the first question
about you Darvish
reinventing
Let's see what Mike Schilt would say.
You're witnessing courage and greatness is what you're witnessing. I can't speak that hard it is to do. I only know from my experiences that at the highest level to reinvent yourself is very rare. And to have somebody with the ability to do it, the confidence to do it, I mentioned courage, and then the ability to do it is also very rare.
Especially as the body, I would think, starts to decline a little bit as we all get older. I mean, you may tell yourself you want to do something, but to have that body control to actually execute it, can you put that in perspective?
I don't know if it's as much the body control is clearly important. I think it's the cerebral intelligence to be able to do it and willing to do it and to be able to adapt to what you currently are. The only other guy I've seen able to reinvent himself, first of all, few guys have these kind of careers. Very few people get the ability to have the career to do this at whatever age for however many years. And the only other guy I saw was able to do that was Adam Wainwright.
With Manny Machado in a situation where he's having a wonderful offensive season, clearly, can you give me a thought on how it is he's able to change to today's game and just continue to evolve? Give us a little perspective on the offense that you've seen from him over such a protracted stretch.
I think the thing that, is impressive about Manny is how he's been able to stay consistent with his swing. He's got we talked about this as we continue to see the milestones add up for Manny. And then you look at the history of what Manny's been able to do, and then you just watch and see, it's a very similar swing. And then you see, a guy that plays almost every day or literally every day. And then you see a guy that's really highly intelligent about this game, and you put those factors together. But it really does start with the consistency of his physical ability and his mental ability to continue to see what the game presents and go execute.
What can you tell us about the move today?
It was as much about a lot of different moving parts as it definitely was about JP. I actually felt like, and a lot of these moves were in place even before the game yesterday, so it wasn't reflective of the outing yesterday necessarily. Candidly, I took away a lot of positive about JP Sears. He battled his tail off. He competed very well. That game could have easily gotten away. He left over 5 innings, keeping a bullpen intact. Wandy clearly did his job for 2 to keep it right there. But he set us up for success today, not having to use multiple more bullpen pieces that are valuable for potentially today's game. So, but yeah, that moves, representative of Cortez and representative Michael King coming back, and a lot of different things, and it creates an opportunity to add to the bullpen depth for the next several games.
And clearly, there could come a point where you could possibly go to 6 when you have 13 games in a row. To bring him back in some capacity.
It's on the table. I've always been one to say that, listen, you have to give up something to get something. So everybody that wants to go to a 6-man rotation and pounds that table may be a little naive to how bullpens really operate over a 13-game stretch. You don't want to go down a bullpen arm over 13 games and then start to throw guys in areas that they don't need to belong, and then create even more conversation.
Yes, from the plate, 10 RBIs in the last 10 games. Talk a little bit about the strengths that he's had with the bat.
Vries has done a really nice job. I'll talk about the bat because he really has done a nice job. He swung the bat well, got us some really big hits, got us a game-winning hit. He swung the bat well. He's been a good teammate. Now that Fermin's, on board and getting a lot of the playing time, Freddie got 4 games in a row and give him a little bit of a break. But Diaz has stayed sharp. But also, you look at his defensive, numbers. They've been really consistently improved as well. So he's done a nice job all the way around for us.
I'm sorry to go back. Is there anything you would need to see from JP to get him back here? Or is it more situational based?
I don't. It's situational based. I mean, him and Ruben and the pitching group and myself sat down and talked to him, and let those guys go talk about what he needs to go do over the next period of time in AAA, a couple starts, what that looks like. We're still getting to learn JP. It'd really been fair to say what he needs to do more or less. But I really liked how he competed last night. And clearly, this guy's been a contributing major league player, and it's just really the way the roster's set up right now with the depth of it. And again, Michael coming back that impacts JP.
Yeah. About Ryan O'Hearn and Manny Machado.
So why is Ryan O'Hearn on the bench tonight and Manny Machado's your DH?
We might not find out.
God.
We may not find out. Can you, Brent, pull up the start, the first 3?
Oh, my
Courage,
gosh.
and you would have thought, pull up what he said about Darvish.
Like you
first
Darvish with
5
a war or
words.
something.
Yeah, like I've never felt someone have more courage and heart.
More courage and heart.
Or courage and greatness, right?
You're witnessing courage and greatness is what you're witnessing. I can't speak that.
Courage and greatness. Like, guy's got like a 70 ERA in 4 starts, right? Does he not?
He does. He does.
Okay, nice outing. Like, let's not let's relax.
Look,
courage and greatness.
What you're seeing is courage and
war. He's got
what you're seeing is courage and greatness from Darvish.
And
right?
then the Sears thing is like, man, I mean,
I saw some real positives with him last night.
What was the thing he said?
I took out some real positives.
He set us up for good things today or tomorrow.
He kept us in the game, or he kept the game from getting away from us. And we did because the game got away.
The game got away from him.
Holy moly!
I always say this about Mike Shildt after hearing Mike Shildt speak all the time. I'm glad that he's a good manager.
Yeah.
Like
he's a good manager.
For his sake in this, I'm glad that he's a good manager.
I mean, this would be comical if they were 39 and 67.
Oh, it was comical the first half of last year when they were a 500 team and they were actually below 500.
They were like the A's. It's like 18 under, and he's saying this every day.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, dang, if Mike Shildt doesn't turn out to be a good manager, this is like embarrassing stuff.
But he set us up for success today.
Oh, really?
They'd be like, oh, yeah, he gave up so many runs that we got to bench people, so they got rest.
That's what happened. He set them up for success today because none of the high leverage relievers worked.
Yeah, because you didn't score any runs.
Right. Well, no, because
and you
took you out of the game.
He didn't give you a chance to win. I'm glad Mike Shildt is a good manager and that it distracts you, which is a good distraction, obviously, being a good manager and winning a bunch of ball games from the hearing him have to speak.
Listen, it's one game, it's one lineup. They could win 10-0 tonight. But I do think, have we wasted we spent 2 hours on the O'Hearn conversation that didn't even come up in the conversation with the manager.
Asked. I want to text Kevin right now.
Was that before the lineup was out?
There's no chance.
There's no way, right?
No.
It was within the last hour?
100%. That lineup was already out.
I think this thing is going to give me a heart attack.
I need to know. Well, we're going to ask Kevin tomorrow. But O'Hearn's probably going to be in the lineup tomorrow. He should be.
No. It was just like, no.
Oh my gosh.
Keeping him out.
Anyway.
We have, what is the news here, Brent? We have news to report?
ESPN is acquiring the NFL Network and other NFL media assets, including the linear rights to the league's popular Red Zone channel, in a deal that will see the NFL get a 10% equity stake in All Sports Network.
We talked to he was off that day.
Yeah, you were off that day. We talked about that. That was
officially official.
Okay, well, it's officially official now.
Interesting. Yep. Okay, so the ESPN and the NFL have announced that deal.
ESPN, come close. Here, come here.
Me or ESPN?
No, ESPN. Come here. If you F with the Red Zone, there will be hell to pay. Thank you.
They're not going to. They're just going to incorporate Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee.
Yeah,
and
they're
Mike
the new
Greenberg.
hosts.
Yeah, what are you talking about? They're not going to mess with it.
Sleeves optional every Sunday morning.
They're just going to have the, yeah. It'll be messed with.
Just that's my also same thoughts on Inside the NBA. If you F with Inside the NBA, you will hear about it.
They're not going to mess with it. They're just going to replace Shaq, Kenny, Barkley, and Ernie Johnson.
Well, did you see what ESPN just recently did? They hired some 22-year-old content creator who has millions of followers on TikTok to run all their social accounts, I think it was, for the NFL programming.
Did you ever see ESPN Social? It's like, look at this kid. He like drove his car really fast. I'm like, okay. And how does that apply to like the Milwaukee Bucks? Like, look at what's going on right now on Instagram for ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even covering like sports.
I saw a funny thing that was like, pardon the interruption. What was the show that got canceled?
Around the Horn.
Around the Horn died for this 22-year-old content creator to live.
Yeah, that content creator probably makes as much as that show is making.
It's the crazy world we live in, is that if you have millions of followers on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, you somehow have like status.
So follow us on Instagram.
So follow us on Instagram,
John and
please.
Jim, J-O-N.
Yeah, it's the only way we survive.
J-I-M. All right. Do you want to hear from BJ Davis?
I thought you were going to say, do I want to hear from Mike Schultigan? I said, I'd rather literally poke my ears out with an ice pick than listen to Mike Schultigan today.
Then good. We'll hear from BJ Davis, Aztec standout junior guard who joins us earlier. We're doing our summer basketball series on the Aztecs. We'll hear from BJ Davis coming up next. John and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Lowe's. Padres and D-backs game 2 of their 3-game series tonight in Arizona, 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish displaying courage will be on the mound tonight for the Padres against Ryan Nelson for the D-backs. And breaking news in the NFL, Keenan Allen has signed a 1-year deal with the Los Angeles Chargers. At Lowe's, pros save big every day on trusted brands like Whirlpool. And now Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment product line. Shop trusted brands like Whirlpool and more in-store and online.
All right, what a day. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We'll have a wrap-up show for you tonight. Hope you'll join us on YouTube. All right, if you missed it earlier, we're catching up with San Diego State coaches and players this summer, getting you ready for the upcoming basketball season. Of course, we're talking Aztec football this August as well. But we had BJ Davis, Aztec junior guard, back for his 3rd year on the Mesa, join us earlier, and we started the conversation by asking him to take us through the offseason since San Diego State's NCAA tournament exit, getting ready for next year.
Just kind of sticking to the routine, getting stronger, staying on the court, and just using the experience last year to really just dial in more and make it even translate more this year. So really just sticking to the routine and staying disciplined.
Coming into last season, the Reese Waters injury, vaulted you into the starting lineup. How did you handle that? How did you feel about that? And did you expect to play such a huge role on last year's team that you did?
Obviously, Reese Waters is incredibly talented. So having someone like him to sit out, and it hurt the team for sure. But, I was ready for the moment. I feel I put the work in, and my mind was ready. My body was ready. So, yeah, I definitely felt I got accustomed to it pretty quickly.
BJ Davis, Aztec junior guard, with us right now on John and Jim. What was it like going from the way you played sparingly as a freshman? I mean, I think about all these guards at San Diego State, and there's always veteran players. I go back to like Lamont Butler when he was here, there's so many examples. Miles Bird, right? He redshirts his freshman year when the team's in the national championship game. Like, what changes for you from a mindset perspective when you go from your freshman year to then starting every single game as a sophomore?
It was go time. So, I had to be one of those guys on the team that, brings that energy and brings that poise to the team. So definitely just getting out there and not being afraid and bringing the energy.
With as many players as that are returning on this team as there are, you guys are loaded in the backcourt. How has that made you better this off season going into this upcoming year? And how fun are practices right now with the amount of talent that you guys have on this Aztec team?
I think it's making everybody better. We're competing against each other on a daily basis at a really high level. So if we do this against each other, then I feel if we go out as a team and play opponents, and it'll be clockwork for us.
Take me through what it's like as a player. Like a year ago, again, you're bursting onto the scene. I go back to your first handful of games, like the Creighton game, you score 18 points, you're 7 of 11 from the floor. The Oregon game, a loss, you score 18 points. Then all of a sudden you're playing one of the best teams in America. They later play for a national championship in the University of Houston, and you're at the top of their scouting report. I think Kelvin Sampson postgame said, we wanted to take BJ Davis offensively out of the game. What type of adjustment is that when you're scouted the way you were scouted a year ago?
I think just, staying patient. I think that opportunities will arise. And I think that just me staying patient and trusting my teammates and trusting the coaches that put me in the best position possible, I think that would be the most beneficial. So, it was tough at first adjusting, because when people really start cracking down on you, and me being a young player my first year out there, I kind of struggled a bit, I felt like. So, but overall, I say it was a good experience for me. It taught me a lot, and just, how to handle the ups and downs that come with this game that we play. So
I go back to, and you'll remember this, I go back to, scrimmages last year. There was a scrimmage that you guys had with UCLA up in LA, I believe. And the reports coming out of that scrimmage was, man, BJ Davis, he scored, I think, like 23 or whatever, how many points in that game. It was a real bright spot. It was like, oh, wow, BJ Davis. In that scrimmage, did you gain confidence like, oh, I can do this. I can score at a high clip at this level. And did that carry through for you to start your season last year?
Yeah, definitely. It was a good scrimmage. I just felt that everything was clicking. I really wasn't thinking too much. At times, I felt like I was getting in my way a lot just by overthinking stuff. But during that time, it was really no thinking. And yeah, it definitely carried over. It gave me that sense of belonging, definitely. And I used that throughout the season. I always drew back to that moment to seek inspiration and motivation.
Terrific young guard, BJ Davis, now entering his junior season at San Diego State with us right now on John and Jim. I feel like this is easier said than done, and this applies to all sports. We talk about this sometimes in baseball. It's like, don't let your offense necessarily come to the defensive side of the game. Like a catcher could go 0 for 3 at the plate, but still has to call a really good game with his pitcher. How do you make sure your defense, you're known as a terrific on-ball defender, one of the best defenders in the Mountain West. How do you make sure your defense is always at the level that you're capable of playing it at, regardless of what's going on offensively?
Mm-hmm. I think you just gotta say, you gotta remember your why. I think people get caught up in, the points of the game, but that's just one element to the game. So if you can defend as well, that's just as important as putting the ball in the basket. That's just the way I see it.
For you, coming off the bench and starting, what's the biggest difference in those two things for you?
I honestly think it's the same. I think once you're in the game, you're in the game, and it doesn't matter whether you come off the bench or whether you start the game, just bringing that intensity and that poise to pull out the victory. So whether coming off the bench or starting, just always having the right mindset and knowing that this opportunity doesn't last forever. So appreciating every second.
No doubt about it. BJ Davis, San Diego State guard, with us right now on John and Jim. So on one hand, obviously, no team wants to go out with a loss, but obviously, if you don't go out with a loss, you've won a national championship. So on one hand, you lose in the opening round of the NCAA tournament to North Carolina in that fashion. On the other hand, now that we're into the offseason, heading for the next season, has that been motivational at all, the disappointment of that night? And has that kind of propelled you and your teammates into this offseason and into the upcoming year?
Definitely. I mean, nobody wants to go out like that. And I think just the feeling that we felt in that moment is definitely something that we draw upon almost on a daily basis, or at least I draw upon on a daily basis. And just when I don't feel like, some days you be tired and don't really feel like giving, it's another reason to give. Just thinking back on that time and how that felt and just being put in that position, it didn't really feel too nice. So using that as motivation and fuel to really just attack each day.
What are some things that you have, tried to improve on this offseason that you really want to take to the court this year for this Aztec team?
I think just my leadership skills. I think just being more vocal and being more of a glue guy for the whole team. Because I know at times, especially in a game like basketball, emotions are high. So if I'm able to control myself and master my emotions, then I feel it'll grant us more success.
Does it feel different having so many pieces back? You didn't, but you still got against NCAA tournament and you beat teams like Houston and had success in the Mountain West. This time around, there's more continuity with the roster. What does that go to have?
We have that relationship with each other. So if somebody's not giving it all, then the whole team will be able to come out and nobody will take it because we know that we know what each other can do. We want to see each other do our best. So really just being with each other and bring everybody to their highest level.
What was the decision for the new haircut, BJ?
I just feel like I'm a bit older and I've had my hair for quite some time. And I wanted to just tune in a little bit more on my career and my life choices. So I just wanted to let it go, start a new chapter.
I did not recognize. It was like, wait, who's the new guy out there? Oh, it's BJ. It's like, I looked at him, and it's very good.
appreciate it.
Have you gotten a ton of reaction to that? You know, people are with social media. Have you just a ton of reaction to like some of the stuff that's been posted on social media from like Aztec social media accounts?
Yeah, surprisingly, most people, they don't really like you said, they don't really recognize me, and I can tell because the way they look at me is like they've seen me before, but they don't know if they've seen me before. So it's definitely it's hysterical.
Like, who's the new guy?
Yeah.
You can shoot it.
Right. New cut, same player
Yeah,
as he heads into his junior season at San Diego State. BJ, we appreciate you taking time for us. Everyone's excited, obviously, for the upcoming season, which will get underway in November. Viejas Arena, San Diego State back on the floor. Appreciate you doing it, man. And we'll all right, BJ Davis, San Diego State junior guard, with us earlier. We'll take a timeout. Jim's back page is on the other side. We're here until 6 p.m. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. Some days with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan. Hey guys, it is Schaefer. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. It's the rapid equity loan program at Loan Pronto. It's truly amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved. They did it in under 24 hours, paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. Just a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity, it's yours. You can use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now to start the conversation. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. That's 619-207-4336. Get debt relief now at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
All right, the iHeartRadio Music Festival back. Live performances by Bryan Adams, Ed Sheeran, and more. September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile in Vegas. 2 nights, one stage. Tickets at AXS.com. And while the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 spending money. Next chance to text and win happens at 9 a.m. tomorrow on San Diego Sports 760. Get all the info at sportsSD.com/festival. Oy vey.
So,
oh, let's see. I want to hear it. Yes, I want to hear it.
Ryan Berger. Here's his final line from the Royals. The bullpen did him no help by giving up 2 inherited runs.
Oh, so those runs are his?
Those runs are
let me
his.
hear the line then.
5 2/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts.
That's fine.
It's better than JP Sears by a lot.
It's one game. Like someone replied to me, to my tweet saying about O'Hearn, and Dean with a little egg emoji. He's a rental, a pinch hitter DH type, and hasn't done blank since he's been here.
Okay.
Ryan O'Hearn hasn't done blank since he's been here. He sounds like
who?
He hasn't done blank since he's been here.
He hasn't even been on the field.
So I said, I'm like, come on.
He's got to play every day. Come on.
Right.
What are we doing here?
Give an opportunity to play, please.
So stupid.
Like Ryan Berger is getting with the Kansas City Royals right now.
Hey, man.
What's the score of that game?
It's 3-1 Red Sox.
So he's going to take an L in his Royals debut?
Hey, it's not his fault. 5 2/3, 2 earned runs.
Whose fault is it?
It's the bullpen.
All right,
and their offense.
Let's get to it.
You know TripAdvisor, right?
Of course.
TripAdvisor has announced their awards for the top theme parks in the United States.
Okay.
Here's the top 10 list. Might surprise you. Number 10, the Whale's Tail Water Park in New Hampshire.
Okay.
Never heard of it. Number 9, the Silver Dollar City in Missouri. Never
heard of it.
Number 8, Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida.
Never heard of it.
Heard of it. Number 7, you might have heard of it, Legoland, California in Carlsbad.
Cool.
Number 6, the Fun Spot America in Florida. Number 5, Universal Island of Adventure in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
Number 4, Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida. Number 3, I don't know how to say this. Knoebels?
Yeah, Knoebels Grove.
Knoebels Amusement Park in Pennsylvania. Number 2, the Magic Kingdom Park in Florida. And number 1, the number 1 theme park in America, according to TripAdvisor, is Dollywood in Tennessee.
Number 1.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Dolly Parton.
Yeah, Dolly Parton's.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Park. Yeah.
As Dollywood continues to welcome visitors for its 40th year of operation, it was just recently recognized as the most popular theme park in the world.
That's crazy.
TripAdvisor officially named Dollywood the number 1 theme park in the United States as part of its 2025 Traveler's Choice Best of Best Awards. This marks the 3rd time in the last 4 years that the park has garnered the top spot.
No Disney World, Disneyland.
No, just Universal Studios.
Okay, interesting.
Maybe because those places are extremely expensive and it's overpopulated with fans and it's kind of not fun to go to anymore.
Well, hold on. Disney's Magic Kingdom was number 2.
Well, Disneyland wasn't on the list.
True.
But the
Disney World is...
Disney World's cool.
Yeah.
I've been there one time.
Yeah.
Disneyland, though? Like California Adventure?
Yeah. It's 11th because they have a top 15.
I would say a lot is the prices. I'm seeing here a one-day ticket to Dollywood costs around $92, while a one-day ticket to Disney can range from $109 to $189, depending on the park date and the ride. Disney can average $112 per day, while a 2-day ticket at Dollywood is about $60 a day.
Okay. All right, good list.
Panda Express, John, is testing out a new item for their menu that will be launching in U.S. markets starting this week.
Now, didn't you hit this up yesterday?
Panda Express?
Yeah.
I did.
I had it over they have like a tofu dish.
They do have tofu.
I had it over maybe 2 weeks ago. It was very good.
The new menu item is dynamite sweet and sour chicken. The new menu item uses the fiery kick of South Korean sauce. The new dish is the first time that they'll be putting on a menu in American chains. So it's very spicy.
A spicy orange chicken.
They are describing it as a bold, explosive, and shareable experience.
Shareable?
Because you can
maybe you could get it, pick it up, and we could share it.
They say it's the spiciest dish they ever launched, bringing a new level of heat to their menu that they've never seen before.
Is that what you're looking for, like at lunch or dinner? Like,
Nope.
Are you looking for something that's gonna like?
I am not looking for something to burn my face off.
Right.
I can do a tiny bit of heat.
Yeah, a little bit.
But if it's to the point where I instantly start sweating,
that's not good.
I don't like that.
It's not good.
Not good at all.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And some people love it. Some people love the spiciest food possible, where it's just like it's like a fire in your mouth. Me, on the other hand, no, thank you.
Yeah, I want food to be like an enjoyable experience, and that's not enjoyable.
Nope. I don't find something that's supposed to be extremely spicy enjoyable.
I agree.
It's not my thing. Finally, Cooper Flagg's debut summer league jersey, which he described as one of the worst games of his life.
I remember that. It was like 4 for 21.
The jersey he wore last month sold today at an auction for $95,250.
A summer league jersey? That's just like a penny. You know what I mean? Like that's not just like a mesh jersey you buy at Walmart.
Dude,
right? These aren't authentic uniforms.
Yeah, I don't get it.
These are like reversible jerseys that you wear blue or white.
So you guys are away. Actually turn your jerseys around.
Yeah. $95,000. You know what's going to be crazy is you and I are now into like trading card space. His whole card market over the next year is going to be insane.
Oh my gosh.
Complete insanity.
It's going to be ridiculous.
A couple of years ago, it was Victor Wembanyama. Okay. He's had a great couple of years. Like you think about some of these like transcendent players.
Just like what it was for Zion.
Yeah. Now Zion market cooled, but Wemby has only gone up, and the Cooper Flag market over the next year is going to be insane.
Yeah, imagine pulling like a green kaboom of
like a one of one Cooper Flag rookie year,
rookie kaboom card.
So we're still a little far in front of this, and we're wrapping the show up. But we are going to the West Coast Card Show, which is one of the largest card shows in America. I think some have said it's as large as like the number 2 card show in America in terms of like sheer size. So that's going to be insane, and that's at some point in August, later this month, a couple of weeks.
Isn't it August 23rd?
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 days. We're going to go on a Saturday, which is the 23rd. But yeah, it's 4 or 5 days that weekend. Or that week.
Yeah, it's going to be an S show.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be wild. Wild.
You think Cooper Flag will be there?
And Aaron actually has gone the previous weekend. So it almost lined up perfectly.
If she was gone, are you going to bring Aaron?
No, because we didn't get her a ticket.
That's okay. She can just wait.
She will not want to wait.
Wait outside the Anaheim Convention Center.
She'd rather be at home with Bentley than go to a card show.
Is she
with
cool
us.
with it? Like, did you position this as, hey, John wants to take me to the West Coast Card Show in Anaheim?
Yeah, you guys are going fishing.
No,
right.
I didn't position that. I didn't position it that way. This was well in advance.
Yes.
It's not like a day before thing. It's like I told her like 3 weeks ago, like, hey, we're going to the card show on this date. I just want to make sure you're like everything's good.
And she's cool with it?
Yeah, she's totally fine. Now, when she sees me bring home a bunch of cards,
how much were those? $10, honey.
$20.
$20.
Not a lot.
Meanwhile, I spent like $2,000. All right. If you missed anything today,
it might be a problem.
SportsSD.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Spotify. Join us tonight for a wrap-up show following Padres Diamondbacks. Will be on YouTube tonight following Game 2, somewhere around 9:30 p.m. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.